I don't know how long this live is going to be. The thing is, I was outside and I had to rush back, and then now I see, very little time, so I'm not prepared with anything. I don't even have the book with me today. I don't know where is the book. So either I'll just come online, and if anything is there, we'll just speak on it, and maybe even wind up soon because I haven't read the book today. It was a busy day. Greetings, Punam. So I thought I'll come online on time because I don't know if anybody is waiting for this hour because I didn't give a prior intimation that I'm not going to come. So I thought I'll quickly make it because I just entered home. Nice to have you all here. ഇപ്പാണ് വെച്ചത് പിന്നെ കുടിച്ചോ. So we'll just begin with it. Okay, I just wanted to check if anybody has any questions regarding, because 2 days I've been discussing a lot on know thyself. It's completely so deep that we are covering, and today, sorry, I couldn't read through the book. I was supposed to read through the book, but today morning I went out and I was in my friend's home after a long time, my childhood friend Sanjay's home. And when I went there, they forced me to have food there. Then I stayed there. Then his sisters from different places came, and then visited many people who, like, 20 years I've not met them. So it was a very good time, and I just entered home. So I was very late. I said, okay, let me just check out because I don't know if people are waiting here or anything like that. I said, let me come online. Tomorrow I have a satsang, that's a musical presentation, again by Manoj Lekiji's team in from Rishi Gurukulam. So this was fixed long back. Every 3 months they want something like that. So this was a prior given date. So we are just going to continue with that. And what they are expecting is they want some satsang, in the sense musical satsang, something with music that we can do. They are not very particular. It should be only bhajans, but they always have this freedom. You can sing and whatever, but they are more like, you explain also what you sing. So last time we had this satsang and it was very nice. We enjoyed. I also thoroughly enjoyed it, and I could see the energy in the room just built up. I don't know if any of you were there, but it was a very good experience, and the people there also all were on Zoom and they loved it. That's how the feedback I got. They just casually started it, but the energy just built up. Again, without any plans, it was very spontaneous, and it was good. So I would just like to ask if you have it. And yeah, I have not looked into the forms and all that. I've just made a simple form. What will happen is, I can keep you guys always updated through that. I do have other emails which is there, those who had already signed up earlier. So I'm just shooting mails to them also. So any such kind of events and all, I'll just post it only there. I will not be posting anything publicly, because I want people who are really benefiting out of it or have some connection with it and find it purposeful and useful, and then it's okay. I can do it in that manner. So all, if any things come up, like even my future programs, again they are not planned, but I can feel a lot of spontaneity coming in it, and then we'll do. And it was nice. Now also in the place where I was, it is very remote place, and you don't get proper autos there and all that. So I was there and I wanted some good auto guy because we had to drop a family on the way. And I was looking now who will be proper and where to find. And then I see an auto park that has written Jai Guru Datta on the glass. I told my friend, "Yehi hai gaadi apna." And then when I met him, the driver came running and he was very kind, very, very nice guy. Very nice guy. Not any nominal charges and all that. And we talked and he had a good time. He came. Yeah. So, do we have any kind of questions on these past? Because It's like we are hearing something from there, and it's very deep. What I'm talking all these 3 days, I don't know if you have not seen the previous videos. If you just see the last 3 videos, khulasa hai, then it's very clear. It's like straight on the face and nothing to hide. Everything very open and no formalities, no hide and seek. So I believe it should help in our journey. That's how it has been. I was right now talking to the family there about avadutas. I was telling them how all this, because they are all bhaktas and they are so scared. Last time I was in their house, it was so groggy energy, too much groggy energy. And this time when I went, it was very nice. I don't know what had happened, because I asked them what happened. Anything happened, changes, because there were a couple of illnesses in the house, some deaths in the house, and all those things happening from almost a decade. And even while I was in Delhi, I was getting all those messages. Things are happening. And then 1.5 years back, when I visited the house, I couldn't even sit for a moment there. I wanted to just run out of that place. I don't know what. It was so unwelcoming energies. Though the people are very kind. You know, I've grown up literally in that family, eating in their house and all those lot from long. So I was feeling bad. You know, one is that I'm feeling like running out from that. The other is I'm trying to help them and try to be of some help. And then I put this in my last live, that is in one year back, almost 1 year, 2 months back, that I entered that house, and after almost 12 years or 13 years, I meet one person there who's very sick, very, very sick, and he's literally on the deathbed. Like, and when he sees me, he talks to me, and I sit in the house again, groggy energy. And while I'm talking to him, I could see that he knows about mantras and all, but he's in a lot of misery. The home people, everybody is in misery. So I just asked them to leave the room so that I can just talk to that person at least. I didn't know what. And they went, and I told him a mantra to keep reciting, because somehow I knew that he's not going to be there for long. So I, what my guru taught me, I gave him that kind of a mantra, and I asked him to keep just reciting day and night, even if not verbal, at least in the mind, keep on doing it, because he had turned very weak and he couldn't do anything about it. So I said, just keep reciting, that's all. Because at such stages, that's all you can do. You can't do anything more. No, any other kind of pravachan can help there. So that's all I said. And to help them, I just immediately ordered Mahamrityunjay mantra online, which you get the electronic one. And I said, keep this playing, because that will be supportive all the time. You heard also doing the chant, and the house will give some, because it was so groggy that there is no room for anybody to think positive. That it's like that. I myself was getting so affected. Then I spoke to him for some time and told him how to recite it for some time, and then left the home. And after 2 days, I got the message that he's no more. So he had been suffering almost for 1 year or 2 years, and that's how that last moment and all that. And then I was telling these people to do something about the pitra stuff. I don't want to get too deep into it, because those are not the subjects that we discuss here. But still, I told them, the family. I've been telling for almost like 15 years. Do something about it, and somehow they were not believing it, or it was a laughing thing. But after that, I didn't go. 1.5 year, I didn't go. And today, when I went to the same home, it was all so very nice. I didn't tell them about it. So I just sat there and I was talking to them and all that, and I could see the space was opened, and the energy was moving, the air was beautiful, the well lit, and people are all fine and all those things. Then somebody asked me, do you feel any change from the last time you came? I said, yes, this is going on in my mind. I said, what's it? Then they said, we had all been to Narsobadi, Datta Kshetra, and we did some Pitru Tarpana, Pitru Dosh Nivaran, some certain things and all they did. And finally, I gave a smile, and they told, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, we know you have been telling for the past 15 years about it. We finally got it now, and we can see the change itself, how it is." So we were talking, and we spent a lot of time there, and I talked about many beautiful details, and the children of their home, very small children, like 13 years, 12 years, 14 years, they were discussing the Bhagwad Gita with me. So somehow, and because when I entered the home, they were telling like the children are not interested in anyone. They any guests come, they will run from the back door. Anybody come, they don't talk. I said that is because you don't talk their language. You want everybody to talk your language, and your language is very boring. Who wants to listen to your talk? वो घर में क्या हुआ? ये घर में क्या हुआ? कौन सा बीमारी क्या हुआ? हमारे परदादा को क्या हुआ? किसका घर में क्या झगड़ा हुआ? किसका डाइवोर्स हुआ? किसका रियूनियन हुआ? यही चलता है तुम्हारा, और क्या होता है भाषा? तो ये बच्चों को उसमें उसमें सब ये बोरिंग लगता है. You talk their language, they will sit. What is their language? I said, look into it. It's your children, your child. You know what is their language. So talk their language. You cannot always go with one thing. Like if I am going to every house, I don't sit giving pravachan there. I just adapt to that place, whatever it is, and just whatever is needed for the moment, you do and give. One Mahatma always told this. What is needed, just do that. That's it. What is the sutra of life? Do what is needed at that given moment. That's it. His life sutra. Nothing much to plan, nothing much to do, and all that. It's so simple it is. What is appropriate at that time, just do it. That's it. Moment, in the moment. No plans, nothing, and no big headaches on anything and all that. So that's what we did there. Sitting there, we were just looking into what, and I was looking into those kids, and they were not interested at all. We were having food, he was sitting alone in his own world, not interacting with anybody. So I was constantly telling him, hey, what are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you talking? What are you doing? And how are things with you? And no response. Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Then slowly I said, what is his interest and all that? And somebody told, oh, he's not that kind of a guy. He's completely different from our family. I said, why different? Oh, we don't know. He goes and sometimes sits there and talks about Bhagwad Gita. He listens to pravachan. Some satsang happens here. He'll go and sit there. And he's very curious about Ramayana, Mahabharata, and all that. I said, okay. And I began asking him, can you please tell me I have some certain doubts. He said, what? Slowly lifted up his head. And I said, I just want to know why Arjuna was so keen in leaving the war. Then he gave an explanation. Then I said, if Krishna is God, why did he ask to kill? God doesn't ask to kill. He gave very appropriate answers. And he was explaining very detail about, see, 14-year-old, detail about the Vishnu Tattva. And then I asked, but Shiva sits there and there is a Bhutagana this side and there is Devagana this side, and Devas and Bhutas. And everything is normal there. And Shiva doesn't judge anybody. He's sitting very neutral there. He doesn't punish the wrong. He doesn't reward the good and all that. He's sitting unattached. But then why Krishna is? I don't know what it was, but he gave me very interesting kind of answer. Like, he said, what you're saying is that is Shiva Tattva. Shiva Tattva's quality is this. And Vishnu Tattva's quality is this. I said, what does Vishnu to do? He said, Ram is Narayan's avatar only, no, the same quality. So that is more on the preservation part, and it is nothing to do with this and that. What is right is done. What is dharma is done there. That tattva. I said, beautiful, and so inside, so deep. So I started listening to this child, and he explained to me everything about Mahabharata and all the Panchapandavas and what happened to them. And I was just asking questions. I was answers were not important to me. Interaction was very important. And within 15 minutes, he opened up. Then after the food and all, uh, he came and sat next to me, and then we were talking because see, everybody was telling he's a boring guy. He does all these things. He doesn't talk only. And then I told the family, look who's talking. I said, you have to catch what subject they want. Then they will interact with you. Your boring stuff about dunyadari, that is not going to interest this guy because he is a different kind of a soul. That's how. And then the food plate, I ate the food. And usually in Maharashtrian houses, they wash the hands in the plate itself. And since childhood, I've been with this family, so we wash. They force me literally, oh no, 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 wash there, we'll take it. It's their kind of seva. Wash your hand and leave it there, we'll take the plate. So this time also I was like that because everybody was doing it. Then this boy, he didn't say anything. He didn't wash his hand in the plate, okay? And he took the plate and he walked off. So I said, he has not washed his hand. He says, Swami Samartha has told not to wash your hand. The boy is telling me. And somebody had taken my plate and gone inside and kept it in the basin there, wash basin or the sink. And this boy went and did his stuff and he came back. And I asked him why. Then he said, Swami Samartha has told you should never wash your hand in the plate. And he's looking at me from side and he says, yeah, Swami Samartha says you should even wash your own plates. I said, oh my God. Okay, okay. Good you told me. I sprang up and I ran inside to the kitchen. And I went, everybody else, where are you going? I said, to wash my plate. Hey, why you want to do that? I said, because Swami Samartha said. I ran inside. Everybody's laughing. And I washed my own plate. I said, yes, this I have been doing everywhere. But look at it when life is. I've been doing everywhere this. Even from childhood, I've washed my own plate. I don't like leaving it that way. So, and this is what we did in the ashrams also. We never keep it there. We wash our own plates. But this is the first time after a long time because I thought that is the custom of this house because they have been doing that. And after so many years, when I did it, there was somebody to point it out. It was not right. I told him thank you for educating me on that. And then we started talking a little bit more. And then he answered me everything correctly. The whole Ramayana, he knew every single character so perfectly. And all his home people are with their mouth open. He's talking and we are talking. And I am also deeply interested. And he's going on and on. And they are also probably seeing, hey, our child knows so much. And then finally, when he emptied out everything, then I told him the symbolism, the metaphor behind it. The whole story, okay, this is all fine. But what does it mean? What does Krishna stands for? What does Arjuna stand for? Krishna is the consciousness, the soul, the self, and Arjuna is the mind. And through the mind, he operates on the Panchindriyas, the five horses. And when Arjuna is holding on to it, then when the mind is holding on to it, the whole thing can go berserk. That is why Krishna takes over as the Sarathi and he takes the reins in his hand. And the Panchindriyas are in the control of Krishna, that is the soul consciousness. And from there, things go smooth. Otherwise, all the horses will run in different direction and the chariot will topple. So now he is keeping everything in retail. And I told him Kurukshetra is nothing but here. This is your Kurukshetra. The war is always happening here. The Pancha Pandavas on one side, the Kauravas on the other side. What are the Pancha Pandavas? So he said, oh no, it is Bhima, it is Arjuna. I said, no, there is something more, deeper. So I said, Yudhishthir, what does he stand for? He said, Dharma. Then I said, what does Arjun stand for? He said, intellectual guy. Means intellect. Then I asked him, what does the other two brothers, like Bhima? Bhima said, strength and courage. I said, excellent. And what does Nakul and Sadev do? So he was little not understanding they are for beauty or something like that. Then I just opened up the Google, the symbol, and I told him, look at the symbolism. So Nakul is known for neutrality. The first thing that showed up was Bhima is for courage and strength. See, these are the Panch Pandavas, the qualities within a human being. And who are the Kauravas? The negativities. So, Nirantar, there is a Kurukshetra war going on here in the head. Constantly it's going on. The good is fighting with the evil, evil is fighting with the good all the time. And the good in us is trying to win over the negative aspects in us. That is what the Mahabharata Yuddha is all about. Kurukshetra is all about. So this is the Kurukshetra. And who comes and gives the wisdom there? Krishna, the soul consciousness. Krishna consciousness is nothing but soul consciousness. We can call it even Christ consciousness. It's very famous in that name. So it comes and stands in between. And it tames the mind. Mind is Arjuna. Arjuna, who is trying to operate this whole thing, and and he gives enough wisdom to Arjuna as to how to always be aligned with the soul consciousness, and then do your war. Then do the winning, whatever the war is going on. You will surely win the divine war. So that is what the message of Krishna is in Bhagwad Gita. So I was explaining to him, and they found it interesting. Everybody found it interesting. It's a new perspective. So they were looking at it, and they were all listening attentively, and because something new they heard on this. And Sahadev was known for the welfare of everybody. That's the quality of Sahadev. He always looked for the welfare of all. See, all these beautiful 5 qualities that we have, when we enhance is what happens. Always looking for the well-being of everybody, goodness of everybody. See, from there things like seva comes. It comes from the Sahadev quality. I want to see good in others. We want to help humanity. We want to serve others. We want to help each other, support each other. All that quality comes from there. And Nakul is for neutrality. I said, wow, this is my topic. And see, it was such a coincidence because 3 days I've been talking on neutrality. And here we were just have a casual talk, and I didn't know what is Nakul and Sahadev's actual role. So when I googled it, I found that Nakul stands for neutrality. In any kind of circumstances, the person stays neutral. And I said, wow, this is what we have been talking all these days. So I learned that one thing. So that neutral quality also is in the Panch Pandavas within us, the 5 best qualities in us. It has to be enhanced. And that one of the quality of Nakul is what we are talking about, the path of awareness, neutrality. It comes from there. And very interestingly, very interestingly, I don't call this a coincidence. What I went there, I don't call it coincidence, because nothing is a coincidence. And because all of them were saying the same thing. Okay, we were just remembering you today morning. We heard this song, and here you are. And then the other one of the family came to know that I'm there, and they started from there. They said we are coming and to meet and all that. Okay, fine. Somebody made a WhatsApp call immediately to Mumbai, and because my friend's sister lives in Mumbai, Warsaw. So it was a WhatsApp call, and they connected, and they gave the phone to me, and I was talking to her and her little daughter, again a teenager, somewhere 18 years or 19 years. So she wanted to know something. So the girl said, my friend's sister said, okay, you are here, good. We were thinking. I said, ye dialogue chodo, ab kya thinking? He said, no, really, we were thinking. Today morning we were just discussing, and here you are. And I had to ask you something. I said, what? My daughter is interested in certain things, but I don't know what to guide her. I remembered you had given us a Bhagwad Gita, but I don't find it. Long back, 10 years back. But now I think she is interested in Bhagwad Gita. I said, wow, I don't think it's a coincidence, because we are all discussing Bhagwad Gita here. And here is one more person. I said, okay, great. And the phone was given to her, and then she talked about it. And she was openly, I said, what's your philosophy? I just wanted to know what is the structure, because till then you cannot put it into anybody. What I follow, what is good for me need not be good for others. So the guidance has to be given according to what is in their flavor. So I talked a little while, and then she told, Bhagavad Gita, I'm interested. I need to know, but it's a little more religious and stuff, but I want to understand and read. I said, okay, no problem. I'll send across that scripture, whatever is, which is ideal for you. And she said, if you can send something which is a little normal, because all these things are so groggy, the religious stuff, I don't want to get into something that is very simple. I said, like what? And she used the word stoicism. I said, what is stoicism? I've never heard it. Oh no, I'm into it. I like that, and I read a lot of it. So while she was talking, I was googling on my cell phone, Stoicism, and you know what came up? I don't know if I shared this as soon as the live began. Yeah, yeah, I've shared it. So Stoicism came as remaining undisturbed in any circumstance of life, up or low, whatever. Irrespective of the circumstance of life, you attain a balanced state of mind. Now, can you tell me if this is coincidence? Cannot be coincidence. Stoicism. I said, wow, do you know something? We have just been discussing the neutrality here of Bhagwad Gita. And the whole Bhagwad Gita, Lord Krishna is only telling Arjuna, be balanced, samyak, in the center, the middle path. He's advising on taking the middle path of neutrality. Because when you come into neutrality, you cannot go up or down. So he's bringing Arjuna into a state of neutral path. He's making him more aware, and that is where he gives the gyan of Yogastha Kuru Karmani. Yogas Kuru Karmani means when you are aligned with me, he says, Krishna, completely. And when you do your karma, it becomes your dharma. Whatever karma you do, by being connected completely, aligned with me completely, that becomes your dharma. Like, for example, if I am doing this work right now, and if I am aligned with the higher tattvas, then this karma of mine becomes my dharma. And I'm doing it completely in the non-doership mode. That is what he teaches Arjuna. You are running from the battlefield because you have this doership. You feel that I am going to kill. How can I kill my own people, my own guru, my own relatives, my friend who are standing on the other side? So I cannot kill. So his hand shakes and he leaves the bow and arrow and he says, I cannot do this war. And Krishna tells him, this is not neutrality. Neutrality means impartiality. How does it matter who's on the other side? You are a king of righteousness. You are fighting. Your dharma is to restore righteousness. It shouldn't matter to you whether they are your own people or the other. You are an impartial king. No, he said, but my people. My people because you are identifying with me and mine. The doership is coming there. The I-ness is coming. So Arjuna feels, I am going to kill. He says, if you are aligned and you drop that doership, something else is going to happen. Something else is taking care of that. You are just an instrument. That's it. So the whole war that is going to happen, it's choosing you as an instrument to restore dharma. Who? The Param Tattva. Who is Param Tattva? Krishna himself. That is how Krishna gave this advice of this war. Now it's a state of neutrality. There is no personal vengeance for anything. And Arjuna has been used as an instrument. Now that instrument has got identified with that he is doing it, so he is scared. So what a big message. You can relate with the Arjuna. Arjuna is nothing but we. The people who are in the samsara is Arjuna. The people who have gone beyond samsara and transcended samsara is Uddhav. Which are you? Whichever you are, there is a Gita for you. If you are sansarik, if you are in the world and you are doing it, Bhagwad Gita is your guide. If you have transcended the samsara and if you have gone beyond the grahastha and all that into vanprastha, sannyas, till there, vairagya has come into you, desirelessness has come into you. What is that? Chidakasha Gita Tattva. If you want to know what are these two aspects, relate to yesterday's life. Chidakasha Gita, Bhagavan Nityananda talks only about two tattvas, desirelessness and vairagya, non-attachment to anything. Only then the rest of the things will happen. By being attached and by being fully engrossed and drowned in this Maya Sansar, nothing is going to come to you. So this cannot be told to Arjuna because Arjuna is the world of the man of the world. So different teaching has been given. Krishna gives a different teaching to Arjuna, saying that you need not run away from the world. Because Arjuna was not interested in this war, all that stuff and all. He said, because he was a yogi. He wanted peace. But he said, no, you are in the samsara now and you are a king. You have a responsibility. So you fulfill the responsibility. Then he says, I am troubled. He says, you are troubled because you feel you are the doer. So Krishna says, give up that I-ness and know that something is working through you. You are just an instrument, and then we will be able to. So the whole Bhagavad Gita is given on this line. Mean, who's Arjuna? We, the Sansari people. Without doership, if you do any karma, you won't get karma to it. That's what Bhagavad Gita very clearly explains. Krishna says, if you are 100% in the non-doership mode, 100%, what we do is little bit, 70%, 90%, not 100. The day you are able to do 100% of non-doership, then if any karma happens through you, that karma dosh nahi lagega. You won't acquire karma for that. You acquire karma only when there is doership. So the amount of percentage of doership is directly proportional to that karma. If you have 60% doership, 60% kind of karma comes to you. If you have 100% doership, 100% of the karma is in your favor. And if you have 0% doership, no karma comes back to you, the cause and effect. That is the secret Krishna reveals in a different fashion in the Bhagavad Gita. And he says, give up doership. All your problem is coming because of the doership, the I-ness. And when that happens, when Arjuna gets this Gyan, then he is able to go and continue the war. And he continues the war. With his own people also, he is not bothered now. Now that I-ness is gone. He is just an instrument. So this message is given to the grahasthis, sansaric people who are in the world, because you have all kind of responsibility. Okay, you don't have to take sannyas. Do in the world, but give up the doership that I am doing. Amesha योग की स्थिति में योगस कुरु कर्माणि. This is what my Gurudev used to explain, and he used to use a different terminology, but the same. He used to say, हमेशा शिव योग की स्थिति में रहो. Amesha, and he used to explain this is yogas kuru karmani. Shiv योग की स्थिति means what? Not in all those formalities, not in all those teachings and preachings, not in all the karma kandas that comes to you, not in whatever comes to your mind when you have the word Shiv Yoga. Shiv Yogi explained very much. Shiva means the Param Tattva, final, the God consciousness. And Yog means what? Merging with it, state of unitedness. And what I'm talking, the same. When you're aligned and merged with that, Param Tattva, same alignment, perfect alignment in sync with the Param Tattva. That state is Yogas Kuru Karmani, which Bhagavan Krishna said. So when you are in that perfect state of alignment with the divine, you automatically move to the neutrality. You are in the neutral zone. You are in a state of awareness. That perfect state of alignment is awareness. How much percent of your awareness depends on your alignment? If you are 60% aligned, you are 60% aware. Quality of your awareness is only 60%. 40% is distractive. If 90% is your alignment, 90% you are aware, and 100% is your alignment, you are 100% aware being. In that awareness, whatever karma happens, because you are not aligned with that me, that cause and effect does not take place. And this is why the avadutas and the great masters, ascended beings, or the enlightened beings who do all these leelas, they don't get affected by karma. That is why this is no more called a karma. Whenever somebody is in that 100% state, it is not called any more karma. It is called leela. That is why it is said Krishna ki leela, Ram leela, Bhagwan ki leela, Guru leela. Heard these words? Because when they are doing that leela, they are a perfect instrument. There is no doership. Something is happening through them. That is called as leela. It's not being done as a karma. So this is the secret of Bhagavad Gita. And exactly what I'm telling you right now is what I told that little girl there. Just 18 years old and interested in Stoicism. I said, Stoicism, I don't know. It's a Greek word, some Greek philosopher. That's all fine. But the tattva is the same. यू गो घुमा फिरा के इतना सब बात करो, फिलोसफी झाड़ो, वो सब करो, लॉजिक में इतना बात करो, वर्ड टर्मिनोलॉजी, ऑल दैट स्टफ, बट द तत्व इज द सेम. To be able and capable in the neutral state, irrespective of your circumstances. So I said, today, see, I'm continuing. There, whole day I was doing this only, and I'm continuing and reflecting the same thing. So today's whole process is around Bhagwad Gita, and the essence is neutrality. And this neutrality is connected to the past 2-3 days of videos, what I'm doing. Staying in the center, neutral. And how to get neutral? Only one way, simple way, awareness. Shift into awareness, you're neutral. Drift back into the mind, you're scattered all over. You're in the periphery, you're in the circumference and all that. The moment you shift into awareness, you come into center. That is why I said be self-centered. Centered. See, the center of the human being is called here. You come to your center. You align with the center. When you are aligned with the center, what happens? What happens? In awareness, what happens? When you shift into awareness, what happens? You are centered. Centered means aligned. When you are aligned, it's neutral. Neutral has to be in the center. Even if you are driving a car, you will see that gears aage piche sab hai, but neutral, you will have to come to the center. That is neutral. So neutrality is that the point of the circle itself. So the whole wheel, if you see, wheel of the bullock cart, just look at it. What happens if you are in the side? You will be having toss and upside down. Life is always going very miserable. But what if you shift to the center? You're not moving, you're still. The center part of the bullock cart, the cart wheel, doesn't move with the wheel. It moves only when you move to the periphery. Anywhere little. If you're little misaligned from the center, you will have rubbing, but it will be small. Effect come hai. If you go little more, effect zyada hai. If you go to completely to the periphery, it's like. So what does that mean? The level of awareness, the level of alignment. The more you come to the center, the more stillness, sthirta. What is Nishchalman? Nishchal means what? Still mind. You cannot still the mind till you come to the center. Center is still, it doesn't move. The whole thing. So I'm just elaborating all these tattvas. Any tattva you say, you'll see it is coming back to this state of awareness and this state of alignment. So whatever you do, you achieve. Whatever you do, you can achieve the Mahabharata. Whatever, I mean, if you do the awareness and become completely aware, you are living Mahabharata. If you completely become aware, you are living Ramayana. Ramayana also I can explain, but some other time. It's huge. Same thing again. You will see Bhagwan Ram's one quality. You'll see he was a neutral person. Whenever anything, he was praised, he was glorified, all that. He was. You'll see one stillness in Ram. Whenever all these problems happened in life, he didn't become mad about it. He was still calm. He was doing his karma, whatever he had to do, he was doing. But calmness was there. The stillness was there in Ram. And what is that stillness? Awareness. Completely centered. Aligned perfectly. Any tattva you take, I can explain how it will come back to the same source of being centered or neutral or aware. These are the simple sutras. If you catch these sutras, you are actually living the scriptures without even reading it. So the tattva, the essence of all these things is to bring us to stillness, calmness, centeredness, aligned completely. See, so many things happen. When you get aligned, still means not doing. The doership drops. Doership happens here. All karma kand, ye karo, wo karo, aisa karo, waisa karo. Sab ghumte hi rehte continuously because there's so much of doership. But the moment it relaxes and surrendered and you come to the center, there is no doing. It's just one. You're just placed there in one place, non-doership. So what is the Ramana Tattva all about? You see, the highest tattvas comes to the center. Stillness, non-doership. Upadesha Saram, come to the center, stillness. Why all this Karam Kand? Come to the center. Be aligned with your center. But one catch is that because I am not able to settle down into the center, I have to do so many things. So do. That's justified. Because all this doing is again to bring you to the center only. That's the secret. That's what the Himalayan yogi told me. जितना भी करो ये सब कर्म कांड जितना है जिसके लिए है किसके लिए चित्त शुद्धि तक. What happens when you चित्त शुद्धि? चित्त शुद्धि means what? Chit is mind. Shuddhi means purification. And what is Nirmal Man? Nirmal means pure. Mind is Chit. Nirmal Man. Chitta Shuddhi. See, Himalayan Yogi said, Chitta Shuddhi tak leke jata hai. And what? Chidakasha begins with. Actual Siddhakasha Gita teaching begins with Nirmal Man. Because if you attain Nirmal Man, what will happen? Pure of mind? Nishchal Man. You will settle down in the center. The center. It will be centered. So Nishchal Man aa gaya, then your Vishal Man, your consciousness spreads like it. Vishal Man means अकेला का तुम्हारा self mind नहीं. Now you are in the collective mind. You are spread with everything. That is oneness. That is self-realization. When you realize that I am not alone, I am part of this whole. Vishal Man. See how simple the sutras are. But the journey of Siddhakasak begins at Nirmal Man. उससे पहले, he says, if you are not able to get Nirmal Man, do sadhana. Do the austerities, do the tapas, that, this, whatever it is, all those things. And he has given advices also. Raj Yoga karo, the middle path lo, take the royal road, he says. He calls the Raj Yoga as the royal road. Royal road is nothing again but the middle path only. What is the middle path? Same, neutrality. He calls it the forest road. Bhagwan Nityananda. He's talking about that only, the middle. So what happens? He says, if you're not able to get Nirmal Man, do these things. But once you attain the Nirmal Man, your yatra begins there. Nischal Man hona shuru ho jata hai, fir then it goes within. Because now you're still. Only when you're still can you enter inside. How difficult it is to enter within if you are not still. It's impossible actually. Difficult nahi, it is impossible. One second. I'm just looking at Ashtanga Yoga, which Bhagwan Nityananda has advised. एक दो आगे पीछे होता है मेरा, so I just wanted to check out this. See, Ashtanga Yoga is mentioned even in Chiddakash Gita. He calls it the royal road. And he mentions also Raj Yoga, Uttam Marg, to go there. So in the Raj Yoga only, all these branches are there. Many branches. Raj Yoga means meditation, going within. So in the Raj Yoga, there are many kind of yogas again. One of that is the Kundalini Marg, path of Shaktipat. And the most powerful and the fastest. So that also he has recommended. In Chiddakasha Gita, you can say he's talking about breath control and, uh, drawing the breath from the Muladhara through the Sushumna to the higher chakras, and like a rope in the well pulls the bucket. He has explained that in that manner. So he has given vidhis of sadhana of this, what do you call, the Kundalini sadhana. And that is why even my Gurudev taught so much of sadhana in that. It's aligned with the Chiddakasha Gita, nothing different. It all began from there. So it's all about the same. So it all leads, when you keep doing these sadhanas or practices, it comes again to that stillness. So the more and more the mind is getting still, and the more easier a mind is able to get still, that means Chitta Shuddhi is happening there. Without chit shuddhi, you cannot even sit and relax and contemplate. You will not be able to even sit for these kind of sessions, what you are having. You need a level of nischal man to sit here. चंचल मन बैठने नहीं देगा, भगा देगा आपको 2-2 मिनट में. Monkey mind. It will not settle down. It will not allow you to soak anything. So चित्त शुद्धि होने के बाद ही ये सब आगे की यात्रा, भीतर की यात्रा शुरू होती है. विच इज व्हाट द हिमालयन योगी टोल्ड मी. सब कुछ जो होता है कर्म कांड आपकी चित्त शुद्धि तक लेके जाता है, मोक्ष प्रदान नहीं करता. मोक्ष प्रदान नहीं करता. फॉर मोक्ष अगेन द जर्नी बिगिंस इनवर्ड. If you put it in the Kundalini Marga, the Mooladhara, the Guru activates. From there, the Shakti begins rising, and the journey is with the Guru. The Guru takes you, and of course, there are these knots, Granthis, and all that. Brahma Granthi, Vishnu Granthi, and Rudra Granthi, and all that. So, actually, if you see, the Brahma Granthi is opened by the Guru's grace. It's very difficult to open. You need a Guru to open the Brahma Granthi. That is what is called as Shaktipat, the Diksha. So once you have Diksha, the Brahma Granthi opens up, which is at the Muladhara. Then it begins rising, Shakti begins rising. Next Granthi is the responsibility of the sadhak or the seeker, Vishnu Granthi, which has to open. So that needs sadhana of the sadhak. Now it depends on the seekers, how they do, what they do, and all that stuff. Guru's grace is there, but here efforts of the seeker is needed. Once the Vishnu Granthi is pierced and it rises up to the upper chakras, that is the Agya chakra, once it comes till here, the final Granthi, again the Guru's grace opens, depending on how you have lifted that thing up. So when that thing opens, this is all spontaneous and nobody is keeping a measure that, oh, this guy's Granthis come till here, let me keep that guy is not yet come. So it's not like that. It's the cosmic intelligence that does it, the prakriya, and the will, the volition of the Guru, sankalpa of the Guru. So it's just a sankalpa of the Guru that is made and it has to reach, and with this sankalpa that thing begins rising. Of course, you need to align with it, and then your yatra begins. And when it comes till here, Agya, if you see the nadis, the Ida and Pinkla nadi, I have not spoken on these subjects. I dislike speaking too much on this. But still, just to give you an idea, the nadis, Ida and Pingla nadi, comes and stops here, the Agya Chakra. Now, what is the Agya Chakra? Guru Chakra. It's also known as the Guru Chakra. Your journey ends till here, the state of awakening enlightenment. The Guru Chakra is still here. The Guru walks only till here, the Yatra. And the nadis also end here. Is this the end? No. Self-realization. Here. Is this the end? No. Mukti ka marg hai aage. Moksha. Liberation. Salvation. For that, you have to go towards the Sahasrara. Now this journey, Guru's journey is still here. From here to here, you walk alone. Yatra akela hota hai. Because here the Guru has made you capable enough that you can, because the final yatra is always alone. Nobody can travel with you. You read any scripture, you read any Mahatma, any books, if you want for reference, you will come to know the conclusion that yatra is alone. You have to take the single journey. So from here, it is always alone. But they say in some text I heard, they were mentioning that, the Guru comes till here, yahan se haath chhod deta hai Guru. Yahan se he asks you to walk alone. Haath chhodta nahi hai. It's a little catch. People say that way. This is my perspective. I don't believe. I have not referred this anywhere. But when people say, I don't believe in that. Here is the chakra when you merge with the Guru. The Guru Tattva and you, it's one. There is no difference now. So here you walk alone, but you are actually not walking alone. The Tattva is within you, but it is not Dvait. So the Dvait actually ends here. Dvait comes and ends here. The duality, where you see the Guru as separate. That with the this Granthi opening, it becomes one. And from there towards the Sahasrara, the yatra is alone only. But it's not actually alone, it's mingled with that. That's my perspective of how I explain things. So, anyways, I don't know why I got into this. Yeah, Chidakasha Gita. So, Chidakasha Gita actually explains about these things only. But all these things until the Chitta Shuddhi happens. How will you know the Chitta Shuddhi? Because then you will be able to be still. If man is chanchal, then Chitta Shuddhi has not happened. So when many people say that no, I'm not able to sit quietly, there is too much of restlessness, I say do sadhana. Keep doing it. जो भी करना है मंत्र जाप करो ये करो वो करो whatever it is to bring a little bit of alignment. But in most cases you see that interest starts coming from there only. It's nearing that journey of stillness, because then people like to stay still. Then hota nahi hai fir. And what we are talking is, this is not dropping. You don't do, because there is no doership here that I drop this, I don't know. It is a very natural process. It happens on its own, the dropping, the leaving, because everything keeps on dropping as you go up and up. You have to drop. Trikon yatra hai. It's a pyramid. It is not like this yatra where you keep on gathering things. No, as you go it keeps on tapering. You always see tapers till the point. What do you have? What is the meru? I told you, this is grossness, jadta, the last rung of the meru. Why? Because there is too much of jadta there. And now as you go up, it tapers. It becomes little and little and little and little. So all the qualities start reducing. You start shedding off, shedding off, shedding off, shedding off. So as you are going towards the bindu on the top, you'll see everything has shed. Everything is gone. And who's doing? It's dropping by itself. So please remember this. As you transcend, as you ascend, go on with the ascension, you are supposed to drop. Don't again get into the habit of holding things because of your fear factor. Because of lack of clarity, we hold on because you're so scared. As things thin down, you become more and more, it becomes scary. It's scary because we have not understood this tattva, how this journey unwinds. So we still want somebody all the time with us. All the time. If not somebody, the guru also. You be with me, be with me. One day you'll have to leave that also. You don't have to lead. It will drop by itself. It's a natural process. That's why when you're surrendered to the process, you are okay with what's happening with you. But we don't do that. We say we are surrendered. But when things start thinning down, we are like holding on, fastening the seat belts and trying to hold on, grab this, that, this, that. Then you're having a detour then. Journey is not smooth for you. You'll see there is a rocky journey. Because the doership has come. That doership is the one who's scared. The non-doer will just be fasten your seatbelt and sit. That's it. You don't worry about what and how. So the yatra that goes upward is always thinning. But it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. In my journey, I'm seeing me, my friends, my people around. It's very difficult. They don't understand this. So they think this guy is doing something weird. When they don't even understand what they're doing. If I ask them certain questions, they'll be stuck. No clarity. You should have absolute clarity in whatever you do. Whatever is your philosophy, you should have absolute clarity. If somebody asks you a counter question, you should be able to answer it like this. If you are scratching your head, then gone case. Then you don't know where you are going also. So that is why I say get your fundamentals very clear. Don't go by the herd, because the herd is completely scared and the herd is in distress. The herd doesn't know where it is going because everybody is depending on each other. I don't know where I'm going. Maybe the next person knows where you're going. Maybe that person. So in a faith, okay, I trust this whole train that is going somewhere. Imagine you are got into a train and you're seated there and you are too shy to ask, too introvert. Now you're sitting in the train and the train is moving. Now you are not sure whether you are heading to New Delhi or wherever. whichever place. From south, you are going upwards. You are too shy to ask. Now you are in the assumption mode. You assume, okay, this person looks like top to bottom. He looks like a Delhi guy. Maybe he's going there. You look at this person. He's eating a paratha. Oh, paratha is only in the north. So this guy is also going there. Then you look that side. Somebody is talking little Haryanvi and all that. Oh, Haryanvi, that's around Delhi only. Okay, fine. Then you look on top there. Then you see a turban guy. Oh, that looks like a Punjabi guy. Okay, train is going there. Not guaranteed. So I am in safe hands. Now it's going. So this is just an approximation. This is just an assumption of the whole team is going somewhere. So I am also going. So I think I'm in safe hands. Whereas somebody has the authenticity to stand up and ask, are we going to Delhi? I am intending to go to Delhi. Where are you going? And they will answer you where they're going. It may not be Delhi. So if it is not Delhi, you will take your own decision. You will know what to do. You cannot sit and assume there, okay, no voice. How is that possible? Dipti Madgut. What is Akashic reverse? First, you align with what I'm talking. I always suggest that. Because I'm not sitting here to, just talk on curiosity. Somebody asks, what is this? And somebody says, what is astral projection? Then I go into that subject. Then somebody is asking here, I'm going there. No, I have something to sit here and deliver. There's something that I want to share. So you got to be aligned with what we are talking first. If you're aligned with it, then you get it. First, we get this thing clear. Otherwise, it's the monkey mind. They're jumping from this topic to that topic. And we are not sitting here for entertainment. Don't get me wrong, please. Please don't get me wrong. We are not sitting here for entertainment. So, you know, seriousness. There is a certain kind of seriousness that is there in the air. Especially these lives that I do, there is a certain kind of seriousness that is there. So if you are able to settle in that seriousness, you can benefit to, because the train is going somewhere. So you just got to make sure that you're boarding the right train. That's all. Once you know it's the right train, then you just sit, it goes there. But if you do not know if this is the right train, then it's very difficult. So you'll have to find out what is it that I want first. My guru always said, Tum chahte kya ho? What is it that you really want? Or accordingly, you will have everything. If I want this, if I want that, everything is confusion. So I always request people to just settle down. Settle down first. Settle down into the tattvas. Whatever you ask, I will come back to the same point only here. I'm talking about neutrality, the path of awareness, being completely aligned and centered with your being. Once you're centered with your being, then whatever you want will start happening. Because if you can't sit idle, if you can't sit silently for a moment, no amount of work can be done on us. No philosophy can work on us. No guru can work on us. I'm telling you this. No sadhana will work on us. I've seen people. The best of sadhana also is given, they cannot do it. Why? That settling down is not there. So the whole thing is in that. I'm not here to tell people that leave that and do. No, whatever you're doing, do, but you have to settle down somewhere. The mind has to begin settling down. You have to start getting the grip on your chair. You have to settle down one by one. All the dropping should continue. Everything should drop. You drop all the other philosophies. You get aligned with only the thing that is there. There's too much curiosity outside there. That's not seeker's path. I'm telling again. You take that as a message or a warning or a suggestion or just a casual talk, whatever. There is innumerable, infinite things in this cosmos. Spirituality will begin exposing these things. First, get curious, okay, no problem. But once you understand what and which direction you're moving, learn to put the horse, I think, whatever they call it. Then you are only on that, focused on that. Then you'll attain something. But if we are scattered all over, it's very, very difficult, very difficult. And that is the main point of weakness that I see in seekers around. I'm not pointing out their errors, but when they come and talk to me, I can see maximum are in this trouble. So all that I tell them is the path of this awareness. It's not a path in itself, but it's like adding sugar to the milk. So I tell them, you align and then you go and do whatever you want. So there are many times I've taught people how to do sadhana. How to do means not the prakriya, not the process. How to first align and settle down for that sadhana so that you can do sadhana. And it's very simple. It's just aligning with that. Like I told you, when I was in Rishi Gurukulam, there were teenagers, a lot of teenagers, and teenagers are all over the place. They are into what is lucid dreaming, what is astral projection, what is astral travel, what is telepathy, what is telekinesis, and what is this out of body experiences. Too much, too much. What is parakaya pravesh? How does one move from one body to the other? It's all good. It's all very good, but there is no end to it. And if you go on exploring this world of astral travel and mind projections and telekinesis and teleportations and what do you call out of body stuff and all that, there is no end to it. But if that is your path, it's a curious path. That is the explorer's path. They are not seekers, they are explorers of spirituality. They are exploring now. We have done all that and settled. It's not that we have not done. I have done all these things, experienced all these things, and known the limitations of all these things. It can give you a lot of excitement. It can make you feel that, oh, you're having a gala time. That gala times come from our own vasanas of enjoyment. तो दुनिया में रहे, चलो ये भी एक्सप्लोर करते हैं, मेला लगा है, चलो मेले में जाके देखेंगे, ए यार फिल्म लगा, फिल्म में देखेंगे, ए पार्टी टाइम, लेट्स गो एंड पार्टी, oh let's go to the beach, oh let's take a boat ride, oh let's take a flight up there, oh let's take the bus to the next, oh let's travel in a bullock cart. It's all the travelers, the explorers excitement. That's not the path of liberation. That all happens, and when finally thak jata aadmi. That is what the Himalayan yogi told me. And not just Himalayan yogi, even I saw Osho telling this. He said, सब कुछ ये जो भी कर्मकांड है तुमको थकाने के लिए. All these doerships and all these doing, so many things that you do in spirituality is only to make you tired. The day you become tired and sit in one place, the stillness starts beginning. Because until then, we will not sit still. We need to make ourselves tired. If you understand the secrets of this, it's very simple. Just look at the prakriyas, just look at the techniques that are happening all in the world of all these processes. What do? They make you tired, my dear. You do a lot of rigorous physical activity, you do a lot of mental activity, you do a lot of pranic activities in the prana. You excite your prana to such a level that one satiation point will come where you will have to stop, but the stop gives you so much of relaxation. Have you noticed this? Osho used to do something called dynamic meditation, the same stuff in different flavors. You must understand the science behind it. The techniques में कुछ नहीं रखा है. That is not the technique. The fundamental behind the technique is the real thing. So why they ask you to jump all around all the time? Because when you jump and jump and jump and jump, that dynamic meditation, which is that you jump, you scream, you dance, and all, you are just throwing out all that is, you've bottled up. And what is happening is you are giving rigorous activity to the whole system. It's like you have a beer bottle and then you're shaking it up and then opening or champagne. What happens? It busts out everything that is there. The more you shake, the more kind of release happens. And what happens after some time? You have to get tired. Have you noticed this? You dance or you do whatever you want, whichever kind of techniques you want, you will get tired. That tiredness, when you get tired and when you drop yourself, or you sit down or you stand still and suddenly you become still after that, see what happens. Jannat milega aapko. What has happened? There also, what has happened? What has taken you to that Jannat? Stillness. But to bring that stillness, क्या करना पड़ा? इतना सा मुशक्कत करना पड़ा. That is what Osho meant. All this meant आपको थकाने के लिए. क्योंकि थकने के बाद जो stillness आती है, you can't. Now if you understand this technique, and if you can, without jumping and tossing around also, if you can do and get into that state, fine. Those who cannot get into that state are made to do this and that. The doership has to be induced. Do this, do this, do this. Doing, you tire yourself. So again, you come back to the stillness. Because only when you still, you can go further. And that is the reason even Bhagwan Nityananda was referring to the Raj Yoga, the Patanjali Yoga Sutras, what he said, the Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga. Chiddakasha Gita talks about the 8 limbs of yoga, okay? It's the skeleton, the thin line, the backbone of Chiddakasha Gita is Ashtanga Yoga, in case you don't know. So how does the 8 limbs begin? Look at what I'm trying to tell. It begins with yamas. Yam. Yan is all the disciplines. You have to do this discipline, all that. You have to discipline yourself. Timely sleep, timely food, blah, 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 all those things. External disciplines. Then niyama. Next step. See, you don't directly go and meditate. What we try to do, the mind is full of a lot of nonsense. Our whole being is a lot of nonsense. The life is full of all the turbulence. You cannot sit just and become what you call meditative. So what he is suggesting is go through these steps, and first is yama. So for that, first you discipline your body, discipline your life schedules and everything. All the external disciplines is yama. Niyama, next is internal disciplines. You internalize everything. You do your meditations, you regulate your breath and all that. That is done internal. You know, it begins with that niyama, timely meditations and all that. And then after that, the next step, once you achieve these two, then you can easily move and start begin practicing asana. Asana means one posture, the bodily posture, the right posture, that is with your spine erect, that you sit and you do this meditation, whatever you are doing, the practices. Because now the external discipline has come, internal discipline has come. Now with the discipline, you are able to sit in a certain position, that is called asana. So the asana begins here. And asana means stillness. See, for the stillness, what all you have to do? You have to apply so much of external stimulus to it, discipline to it, then internal stimulus. Then kahin jaake third step you are going to reach, that is asana. When you master asana, sitting straight with your spine erect for a long number of hours without aching yourself or tiring yourself, that is known as asana siddhi. You achieve the erect posture and you can very comfortably sit. Now see, these are the steps. Once you come to that asana, you are able to settle down into that. Then comes the next step, that is pranayama. See, your pranayama begins here. And that is what? The fourth stage. After asana siddhi comes pranayama, because the pranayama also will begin now regulating properly and the work also can be achieved in a proper manner. So asana, if you ask, is what I call as tiring yourself to a certain level, when you can sit still and you tire yourself with all these bindings, with all these niyamas, yam niyamas. And when pranayama begins, then you are taught to regulate your breath, to achieve a certain mastery over your pranic body. That is your pranamaya kosha, which is full of prana. Why? Because you are preparing your prana for higher things. And once you have prana yama, yama means what? The first step is what? Yama. Here you can see again this word is there, yama, prana yama. Prana means the cosmic force that you have, vital force. Yama means disciplining that prana. So disciplining the vital force is called as pranayama, as simple as that. So you use this technique, that technique, there are hundreds of techniques. to bring the prana into a certain way. The most commonly discussed is the pranayama technique of Patanjali Yoga Sutras, which everybody knows. Anlom Vilom, Kapalbhati, and so many. Kumbhak, Antar Kumbhak, Bahe Kumbhak, so many things are there, processes. So all that is to discipline now your prana sharira. There are hundreds of kriyas of all paths. There are many paths teach different kind of kriyas. My guru would teach about sukshma kriyas and prana kriyas. Prana kriyas again regulating the pranas, pranayama type. And the sukshma kriya is something that regulates your body. You are lubricating your body. You are making every part of your body move. That's the science behind it. Because you are now disciplining every part aspect of your body and etheric body. That is the sukshma sharira. That is the pranic sharira. The pranic sharira and the stula sharira. Remember, both these are physical, gross. Even the prana sharira is considered under gross only, stula. So you are regulating actually the body, the physicality in all the pranayamas. So there are many kaya kalpa kriyas, mahakriyas, and so many. There are varieties of that. But the aim of everything is to build up this energy and bring regularity in your mind, body, not even mind, body, the etheric body, and the this. Because it is easily understood when your body is controlled and your prana is controlled, the mind can be controlled because that's the next body, manomaya kosha. You gain mastery over the manomaya kosha with these two things. So that is why it begins with the discipline. But before that, so many disciplines are there. Yam, niyam, then you bring asana. Asana also is a niyam. You are disciplining your physical body now till you get asana siddhi. So even if you don't, the process continues. But if you have asana siddhi, it becomes very easy. Then pranayama becomes very powerful. If the stillness of the body and the discipline of the body is there, because now you are able to withstand this body and keep this body in a certain state for long durations. So the tapa can begin only if you have asana siddhi. Tapasvis without asana siddhi you cannot. You go to the Himalayas, try to sit in the caves, and you're sitting like this and trying to in this. Not happen. You cannot do tapas that way. Tapasvi's first qualification is asana siddhi, and it again begins with this yam, niyam, asana. And pranayama to regulate the prana, because you are now disciplined. After the body, you are disciplining the prana sharir also. After that, the next step is pratyahara. Pratyahara is the withdrawal of senses. So here begins, you start withdrawing from the senses. Means pratyahara means you are basically, if you ask me, it is going within. Till now you are bodily. After the body is regulated, after the prana is regulated, now it becomes easy to become self-absorptive. You can absorb, go into self-absorption. You can go within. You are able to go into awareness. You are able to become more aware very easily. Very easily, you will just fall into this kind of deep levels of awareness. Because all the stillness has come, now there is no disturbances. Mind body, the body and the prana, vital force and the body are now in proper alignment and balance. There is enough prana moving everywhere that influences the mind to still down, and then begins your pratyahara. You can call that your pratyahara from here begins or can start towards that nirmalman purification, that process towards, it's moving towards now nirmalman, making the mind purified. You have done all this on the body and the etheric and the prana layer. Now you are moving into the mind body pratyahara, the withdrawal of all the senses, because the mind is the one that controls all the five indriyas, panchindriyas. So you are using the mind. What mind? A still mind. You cannot use a chanchal mind. And this is what I explained today, what Lord Krishna tried to explain to Arjuna is about Pratyahara. Because Arjuna, when he was handling the horses, very difficult. Who's Arjuna? Mind. Unable to handle the five horses. What are the five horses? Panchindriyas, the five senses. What happens then? Krishna becomes the charioteer, the driver, the Sarathi. What does this signify? He's asking the mind to step back. He says, Arjuna, go back. I'll take the lead. I'll take control. And Arjuna, the Krishna becomes the controller. What is Krishna? Consciousness, the self. The pure awareness is the self. The pure awareness is Krishna consciousness. You are pure awareness. You are the self. So when your pure awareness takes over the reins of the five horses, now it properly can manage the five horses. That is pratyahara, withdrawal of the five senses. So once you start withdrawing from the five senses, what happens is you are able to go further now. Because what prevents you from going deep within is your five senses, Panchindriya, all the time distracted. Why? What is operating the Panchindriyas? Mind. Arjuna. Mind is full of what? Vasanas, kamanas, all tendencies, samskaras, full of that. So the mind is now operating the five senses because it is connected. When Arjuna is holding the reins, one horse is running here, one horse is running there, and there is imbalance, as though it is going to topple down. That's what happens with us. The mind is handling the senses. So when we are aligned, when we shift into awareness, this is where I begin about the talk of shifting into awareness. When you shift into that awareness, you are shifting the charioteer. You are moving to the charioteer. You are no more going with Arjuna. You are Arjuna. So Arjuna moves back, you take a back seat, the I, the great I, moves behind, and you allow the real I to come forth, that is Krishna, and take control. That is a form of surrender to your higher self. When we say surrender to yourself, to your higher self, what does this mean? Who is surrendering to whom? Whom are we telling? You surrender. The mind, because I am the mind all the time. I'm in my mind, and my mind thinks I'm the doer. So somebody is telling me, you surrender to the higher self. Who you? I, the mind, the Arjuna. So now I surrender to the Lord, to the higher self, to Krishna, and allow him to take control. When he takes control, I am no more the doer. How can I be the doer now? Till now I felt I was the doer. I pulled back. Now he is the doer, the higher self. God is the doer, or Krishna is the doer, or Christ is the doer. Christ consciousness, Krishna consciousness, same stuff. So when he or that tattva takes over, the mind pulls back. And now the senses come under control. The same is shifting into awareness. You are in the mind, drifted in the mind. So when I say shift into awareness, all the practice that we are doing is at this level. You shift into awareness means you move into your awareness. You allow that Krishna consciousness. You move into Krishna consciousness. And you have all seen what happens. All the people who have experienced when we have done these sessions, suddenly in Rishi Gurukulam in Pune also, we were saying, I was trying to make them experience and tell them the possibility because nobody trusts this. I said, you'll see that suddenly now what will happen. The moment I started giving this command of moving into this awareness, making them aware of their own body, just 30 to 40 seconds, suddenly the body erected. I could see all the words. I never tell them, sit straight, we are going to do a meditation. Baat karte karte, talking only. Suddenly, when I was telling them about awareness, I could see, because the front people were sitting. Suddenly, all are straightening there. Who asked them? I didn't ask them. And their eyes were moving here. Suddenly, it stops. Eyes is open. And then there is stillness comes. Their breath becomes very normal. They are not doing anything. Suddenly, in that awareness, what has happened? Pratyahara, the withdrawal of the senses. Senses are open, but it's not working. Can you see if eyes are working, it will look like this, But when I make them shift into that awareness, suddenly this moving will stop. It will just still. What has happened? You don't hear at that time. You can't taste at that time. You can't smell at that time. You're moving little deeper into a very kind of a locked state. And just another 1 minute, I keep giving them that thing, and making them experience that awareness. And then in 1 minute, I tell them, in the last 1 minute, was there a single thought? They realize, oh, there was no thought. All 30 seconds to 1 minute. The whole thing just, what happened when you shift it into awareness? Suddenly the mind freezes. Strange phenomena, but it happens. This is this pratyahara, this withdrawal of the senses. So we are one, two, three, four, fifth step. This is out of the eighth step. When you have good pratyahara, the next step is dharana. Dharana is concentration. You are now able to focus on whatever you want, one tattva, one god, or whatever. It's on that. And Ramana Tattva begins here. He says, now move, abide in the self. So in dharana, what people do is they use different kind of dharana depending on their mind. So if they are not properly shifted into awareness, and if they're still in the mind, they will have different dharanas that the mind will can give them according to their vasanas, their desires. So the mind will give them that, one pointed, I want wealth. Gaya, good khate mein. Not that wealth is bad, but it's gone. It's a mind game. Awareness doesn't need anything. Awareness is a very pure state of, it doesn't need, it's beyond the desires. So when you shift into awareness and you shift there, it's a different quality of yatra. If you're still using the mind in this yatra and going into this, withdrawal of the senses, but you're still in the mind, you're withdrawing by force. You're trying to close your eyes, you try to put something in the ears, you put a mantra. I say forceful, jabardastika, withdrawal, pratyahara jabardastika. You close your mouth, you close your eyes, then your nostrils with the proper breathing. All this is to control the senses, but this is forcefully. This is all done not very casually, not very spontaneously. Awareness, when you shift into, you don't have to sit worrying about the individual things. Automatically you are no more existing in the mind, you have shifted into awareness. And when you shift into awareness, what is awareness? I told you, the self is the pure awareness. So now you are entering into the state where the awareness becomes aware of itself. If you don't understand this, that's fine. But now the things turn a little more deeper and deeper from here. So what did I say? If you are in your mind, you will choose, I want a home, and you'll become concentrated on that. Or I want peace. You become concentrated on peace. One pointedness. If you, many people do that with their eyes open, they do tratak, for example. Tratak is one pointedness. You put a flame and you're concentrating on the flame. What is that? That's pratyahara. Sorry, that's dharana. Dharana means one pointedness. So you're focusing on that lamp or one light or image. Some people put the image of elephant and they look at the elephant. Whatever you focus on, dharana, that quality starts coming into you. So if you're focused on the image of an elephant, strength comes to you. All techniques, many people do many. The representative symbolism they use, what they want. And there are people who use lamp. Lamp is Agni, flame, the soul, property of that. So you start getting the property of the flame, light, illumination. So that is why in the yogis and all, when you see, they all light up just one lamp and they stare at that. Jyotirmaya. So depends on that. Dharana depends again on your vasana. तुम चाहते क्या हो? That funda only. What my guru said. What is it that you want? So whatever is that you want, that is moving in your being, that comes forth when everything shuts down. That comes first priority. That is one reason I said, seekers who are moving on the path of liberation, your first line should always be this mukti. And then you write down all the other goals. Children, cars or bungalows or whatever, good money, good name or good what do you call, career and all that stuff. But above that should always be the final goal. Because when you know your final goal all the time and then you're living your world like an Arjuna, you'll not be lost in the vasanas. Automatically, all, if that is on the top, when you go deep within, all that comes is the first point, priority, what you want. And it will start moving towards that. When you move towards that, you are completing the other desires and moving there. Are you seeing it? Interestingly, these things begin manifesting fast because you have to cover this to reach there. So these things start manifesting on its own. So you don't have to actually worry about these things. You have to worry about that. Because depending on our prarabdha, this will start clearing. What are these desires? Your prarabdha. Why these desires have come in your mind? That's your prarabdha bhoga. That's why it is coming to the mind all the time. So my Gurudev said, don't escape from it. You don't have to run away from it. Fulfill it. But the only catch that seekers miss out is when they put these points, the worldly vasanas on top, and they start focusing on that, dharana on that, then their reality starts becoming that. And this is what? Worldly stuff. Maya. You create it, but because your intensity is all on that, you are obsessed with it, you can become entangled in it. Very less chance of transcending it. And that is what I see all around. And after 10 years, 20 years, they are still saying, we are in the bhoga, we are enjoying life. Because our guru has told, worldly, enjoy worldly life, material, don't miss anything. Arey Buddhu, you not got it. He also says, isi jivan mein mukti prapt karo. But how can you become mukt? How can you become free until these things are going to leave you? And if you're engrossed in it all the time, he never asked you to get and sink into that. He has explained what is Ichha and Trishna. Ichha is desire. Trishna is lust for it. Ichha is that, okay, I need enough money for my sustenance. That's a desire. Okay, I need. What is the lust? Trishna. Attachment. I'm lusting for money. Two different things, dear ones. Sukshma antar hai. Sukshma padda hai udhar. Your awareness will show you this. If you are an aware person. If you are not aware, then you will get lost in it. Guru ne bola hai, kar lo. How long? That question doesn't come. How long? Okay, bhog sharir. How long? Because it's very clear. Desires are unending. Buddha said this, Nityananda said this. You finish one desire, another will come. Finish one desire, another will come. There's no end to it. So we cannot be so, what you call, ignorant saying that, no, I've been given the permission. No, your mind is taking an excuse to, and that's the lust that you have. That's the desire. That's the trishna that is making, that's the vasana that is making you even say that and remain contented with it. That is why I always say, write whatever your desires are, but on the top you put this. So you're not compromising anything. This is 100% spiritual and 100% worldly. Because worldly, if you put your desire, that is only 100% worldly, mind you. Guru says 100% spiritual, 100% worldly. Where is the spirituality in this? Many people don't even write. Even if it is spirituality, it is in the bottom list. So what will happen? If you put all the worldly goals always on the top, and if you put last in the end, let me have spiritual evolution. Let me gain deeper insights. Let me become mukt. If you put in the last, God knows which janma it is going to come. I mean, if you have the time and audacity to wait for another 10 janmas, fine. That nobody can do. That's your free will. But if that is not what your decision is, and you want to experience this life, at the same time get rid of it, transcend it. Not rid of it is not right word. Transcend it. Go beyond it. Then you have to have a life of awareness, and on the top you have to have your main goal. So if you have this as a main goal, what will happen is you will always move in awareness through all these goals. So when you are in wealth, you are aware. You are aware that I've got this, but this is not my goal. You are aware. You know today or tomorrow, this is going to go away from you, this wealth. You are aware. Practical spirituality. And when you have that awareness, you start taking measures not to get affected by whether it stays with you or doesn't stay with you. What you are doing here, you are automatically working towards vairagya, detachment. Automatically. Just this awareness. It's not going to stay with me. Enough. Vairagya ka kaam shuru ho gaya andar se. You don't have to leave anything. If you have children, if you have spouses, if you have family members, good. I've achieved this. I want it. I want to experience this. I want to experience this child. I want to experience this spouse. I want to experience this house. I want to experience these relationships. Putra sukh. It is called putra sukh. Sukh. And Pitra Sukh, Matra Sukh, Putra Sukh. There are so many Sukhas, and Patni Sukh, Pati Sukh. These are all our ichhas. So you are living in Sukha, you are enjoying this, but your awareness is there. And what does your awareness say? This also is not permanent. That's all. It's not thinking, oh, what will happen now? It's not contemplating on the future. It knows it is there, but it is not going to be forever. Automatically, Vairagya starts happening from within. You don't have to work on it. I say how to get detached. Somebody was there in the retreat, and all the time she was so concerned. A deep spiritual person. She has got husband, she has got her family and all that. All the time, just worried. uh, Vairagya is, how do I do this? I have to get detached. I said, why do you want to get detached? Oh no, because somebody has told me. She was in some other spiritual. There are many, where they have different philosophies. So in that they say, uh, husband and wife should not live together. And it should be like a brother sister. So she's like, I'm confused. I said that is forcefulness. That is jabardasti. You can't do that. If you have vasanas within you, if you have desires for love, care, support, and all, you can't do that. There is no purpose in of you coming into grahast only. First of all, there is no purpose. Then what are you trying to use the carcass of another person for money, for support? Then how selfish is that? You are only trying to use the other person for your support and well-being, for your security. What else is there? I mean, there is no rasa of that relationship. So I said, let that happen automatically. You just have this awareness that, this is not permanent. That's all. That's all. And enjoy that life. When and how it has to happen, but all the time keep this awareness. That's it. And when this awareness will come, when your top list is for liberation, if this goes down, you can never build this awareness. You can never. Because the mind will always take you into Trishna, the mode. Trishna. So this is dharana. Dharana depends on tum chahte kya, what you want. Your mind, you don't, because at this level when you are withdrawing and getting self-absorption and going deeper, at that time sometimes the mind also cannot think what I want. Many people used to say this when in the guru's sanidhya, when people were there around the guru, and he would take them into deep meditative and say, now ask what you want. Many people are blank. I don't know what. Nothing is coming. That is because they have not had this awareness of what they really want. So if it is all the time your mind practices that the mukti, the freedom, mukti means not just that moksha and all that, liberating from all these things. Now if I'm living a life also, I'm living as free. That is mukti. So I'm free from all these entanglements that control me, that dominate me all the time. I'm free bird, the freedom. So if that is there on your mind, when naturally you sink into this absorption states, automatically you get into that, and the vasanas which is there, they start dominating, they come up, surface up. So if you have this also is a vasana, it's a desire to attain freedom, but it's a very positive and a high desire. So that surfaces on the top automatically. And when that happens with this dharana, the concentration, manifestation begin there. The secret of all the manifestation is that I have not talked much about this subject because my area is not about that. Because then it will get back into all the worldly things. This is not worldly. I'm telling you, there are enough platforms. You go out there are thousands of platforms and thousands of paths that even in the name of spirituality, they will bountiful give you supply of all material things, health, wealth, success, relationship, blah blah blah, goes on, and it will keep you in this maya of sansar. I've seen so many stuck in it, and they think it is spirituality. That is why I took up this title of this spiritual. I'm not a spiritual person anymore, because spirituality is now polluted. I call it just be aware. An aware person, that's all. Awakened or aware person, that's all. Because you can see through all this like catches. And why do we follow it? Because everybody is following it. No, sometimes you can stand apart and see, no, it's not aligning. I have been screeching my lungs out all this time. When somebody, I said, no, I don't agree to it. This is not what the tattva is. This is not what the teaching is about. You have misunderstood, or somebody has misunderstood, and this is misguidance. And if somebody is doing that and other somebody is doing that, and everybody has one conformity, they are all going towards one something which is, my soul is, my awareness is showing, no, that is not what I want. So maybe that's what they want, and they're welcome to go there, and I am welcome to go my way in what I want, and this is my way, what my awareness shows me. So those who can relate with this, I'm just talking to them. If you can't relate with it, you carry on with what you do. It's absolutely fine with me. And then see, after dharana, when you attain one pointedness, when your mind doesn't go here and there, you can attain one pointedness. That time begins your dharana. Seventh point is dhyana. Sorry, dhyana is meditation. Can you see the process? And what we try to do, we try to meditation. We are going for meditation, and it doesn't happen. We sit for 45 minutes and have all kind of thoughts with the eyes closed, and we think it is meditation. 45 minutes ho gaya, alarm baj gaya, we open. Meditation means zero thoughts. Absolutely zero thoughts. No thought. Thoughtless state is known as meditation. So when you are in the dhyana, when do you enter into dhyana? After all this process, the seventh process, after all the pratyahara happens, withdrawal of senses, then you get one pointedness. And when you are able to concentrate just on one pointedness, it might be even at the blankness, it might be even in the nothingness, it might be even in the darkness, in the void, whatever you call it, it needs still one pointed focus. So dhyana begins after that. Once you enter that state, it's very spontaneously you can enter into meditative states, no thought state, real dhyana, that is. Today what we hear and do, all that stuff, is something else only, and people claim it is dhyana. There is a difference between dhyana and sadhana. I've seen people calling dhyana as sadhana only, and sadhana is no. Sadhana is a prakriya. You use those tools, and there is a doership there. You do this, you do that, do it this way, do it that way. A lot of things are thing, and it is all in nullifying the karmas and all those things. Well, fine and good. That is sadhana. Sadhana means tools. Thousands of sadhanas are there. Dhyana means meditation. Meditation means thoughtlessness. If you see in sadhana, there is too much of stuff. You cannot be in a no thought state there, because there is so much to do. But when you keep on doing your sadhana, you enter into dhyana. You must have seen that. Doing a lot of things, suddenly you get into dhyana. You don't know, you're lost. And then you come out, then again the doing, then again you're lost. So that dhyana is happening because of this sadhana, all these processes. This all comes under sadhana. All so many processes. You have your yama, niyama, then asana working on your body, pranayama working on your etheric body or your pranam body, and then pratyahara, withdrawal of these things. All this work is going on. Then bringing one pointedness and all those things. Sadhana. So when sadhana happens, it results in dhyana. Now, dhyana is the state. To reach dhyana, only you do sadhana. Please get this right, okay? Because when people, when they talk, they say, I did my dhyana, I did my sadhana. They don't know the difference. Sadhana will lead you to dhyana, zero statedness. Dhyana only takes you to the next step, that is samadhi. The eighth step is samadhi. Samadhi is complete union with that silence. Complete. It's a proper integration, union. Yogastu Kurukarmani. You enter into that union, and when you enter into that union, there is non-duality. Duality, everything goes. You enter into a non-dual state, and there is, what is left is just pure awareness. That I am there. That's it. There is an awareness that I'm there. Deep. That is called samadhi. Now, samadhi, there are hundreds of different Dozens of them, different types of samadhis. Vikalpa samadhi, then nirvikalpa samadhi, and so many samadhis are there. Bhava samadhi is there. So those are all very high terms. We need not go into it. But samadhi, if you understand, that is a state where all the doership, everything goes off, and all that remains is non-duality. Non-duality, even the feeling that I am here will not be there. I am meditating, that feeling also will go off. I am doing dhyana. I did just now dhyana. Oh, I entered in. All that will not be there. That is samadhi. Samadhi means you are in deep absorption in just the awareness. There is an awareness. Deep, for however long that goes, or the being has become capable of extending that samadhi, it goes. It all depends on how khali you are, how empty you become, how many droppings have happened, how many stories have dropped. All these tendencies keep dropping once by once. That is why I say don't hesitate to drop any, don't catch all things in the scare that, oh no, I might lose something, I might lose grip. So you can see, to enter samadhi, Maharishi Patanjali has given 7 different points to do. In after 7 different points, you enter into that samadhi. So the whole process of Raj Yoga is this. Now, if you put this into any kind of practice, any marga, any path, the basic is this. The rest all is constructed around that. All the paths, all paths. You take any paths and sit and just investigate and see. You will see the backbone is this lock, 8 steps. Rest all is done on different prakriyas, different techniques, different method, different ways, depending on how each master have worked their workout, how they did their whole workout, and what worked for them is what they set as example. This worked for me, now this will help you, and that is what they teach. That is how every master teaches their own way of which is right, which is wrong. Nothing is wrong, everything is right, because it is somebody's experience, how they investigated and how they found the path, the pathfinders. So all this comes with clarity. Clarity comes from your awareness. So if you develop your awareness, you can see through all these things. Now I'm telling you, I'm assuring you, whatever I talked in this session, I have no idea about it. I don't know how this got related and all that, but this is what I'm trying to tell you is this is how it happens. And I'm telling you, you read the connection between this and whatever I told you, you will not get it in any books anywhere on the internet. Search it. If you get it, come to me and tell me. This connection between this Bhagwad Gita and Chidakasha Gita to this and this to all the paths, and how awareness is the center point of all this, the neutrality, all what we discussed, you'll never see it anywhere. So who's this one that talks about it? This is that tattva, this is that awareness that comes once you tap into that. People give it very fancy names, downloads and all those things. So in the modern world, in the Western world, it is a very famous thing, like download. So somebody, while I was in Pune retreat, they were saying, "Oh, I've watched you all these things. So how do you get these downloads?" I said, "Who told you this is downloads?" "No, I know, because I've seen so many people talking about downloads. You get downloads." I said, "Yes, in one way, yeah, terminology is that way only. But these downloads, all these things are there in our awareness, deep awareness. Everything is hidden there. This is what I'm talking is superficial. When it becomes deeper and deeper, this is how the rishis sat and decoded the secrets of the universe. And they expounded the Vedas. The Vedas came from where? Awareness. They entered into this deep samadhi state where I said, what in samadhi, what exists? Only the awareness. Nothing else is there. That awareness downloads it. So depending on everybody's sadhana, they have different capacities. Not everybody is at one stage, or no, you cannot compare. Everybody has different levels of awareness and different areas which they will download according to their journeys, whatever it is. That is why everybody's journey appears different, but it's all the same. The same download, if you have another person sitting next to me, and if he and she has or she has followed a certain path, their language will be different, the explanation will be different, but the tattva is the same. That is what we call as Advait, the oneness. Eternal truth is always one, but languages are different, methods are different. That is why I refuse to say anything is different. I you cannot tell me that I can claim my path is the only superior one, my guru is the only superior one, my religion is the only one. It is, you are saying that because this thing is clear to you. Others might not get, but you have got clarity because your factors are that way. Your tendencies of your being is very much aligned with whichever path or guru you are aligned with. Almost the same structure, the factors are the same. That is why you align. That is why people get attracted to certain gurus, certain paths, depending on their structure. They have the same kind of affinity, you can call. That is what pulls you to a path or a guru. Same type. So then, if you have the same type of affinity, obviously you will feel this is the best, this is the truth, and this I'm having wonderful, I'm transformed by this. And the only thing is the ego takes over and then it claims that now, since I have had this experience, this is the only one. There, I don't agree. Till then, it's fine. This is work for me, fine. But if you say this is the only one that works, I'll put my foot down. Whatever happens, even if I leave my life, I can never agree that that's the truth. Because my awareness shows me little more penetrating into this. That he is talking the language because he has understood only that aspect. I am saying expand your horizon little more. That is why Bhagwad Gita, sorry, Chidakasha Gita, Bhagwan has told these qualities of Vairagya, and Vairagya is detachment, and desirelessness. When these both happen, it results into oneness. And he says this many times, until you have the oneness, until you do what? Nothing is going to happen. Adi Shankaracharya also said, you sing this bhajan, you do this japa, you do this tapa, you do whatever you want, all the rituals that you want. But until you come to the state of oneness, mukti is not possible. Who said this? Adi Shankaracharya. You can do the references. This is what Bhagavan Nityananda also said, oneness. And what I am speaking is exactly that tattva that you have realized till a certain extent that your path is good, your religion is good, what you do, your philosophy, your theory, your practicals is all good, but it is not the only good. When that comes, understand that is the block, the final block towards your final expansion, the final block to non-duality. This is the final block that will happen. Somewhere it will tell that this is the only thing. So I agree with this. Wars have been fought on this. For all the religious wars, what is that? Everybody is trying to prove their religion is the best. See what ego can do. Sukshma ego, spiritual ego, this is. Spiritual ego is the most deadliest and the last stage. This is when you say, my path, my guru, my way, my religion, my family, my parampara, my lineage only works. It is foolish to me. I laugh at this. I laugh at anybody who's telling Amara parampara sarvashresht. 1 second, I'll just plug the battery. Showing low. How can your only be parampara? Because I can just sit and casually also talk to you about it, that this is not the truth. This cannot be the truth. How can this be the truth? That my way is the only way. The whole fight is about that. Hinduism, Christianity, Sikhism, Islam, Jainism, everybody, Buddhism, ours is the best. But some religions are now, not now, they have that tattva, like Buddhism, for example. It is oneness. They are not bothered about all these things. They accept every religion. They are beyond all these things. So that is the real tattva of liberation. And you can see, depending on that, the liberation becomes very, very easy or possible. Hinduism still fights. Islam still fights. Christianity still fights. Rigidity is there. That is why I talk about Sanatan. What is Sanatan? Now their Sanatan also is being mixed with XYZ Sanatan, ABCD Sanatan. No, Sanatan is beyond any definition. Nothing aligned to it. Even if you put one point to it, it's not Sanatan. It's polluted. One ideology, one thought also you add to Sanatan, it's gone. Forget adding XYZ religion to Sanatan. That's not Sanatan. Sanatan means nothingness, the original way. You know, when the whole Srishti, the whole cosmos was created, the universe was created, was there any religion? Tell me. Was there any guru? Tell me. Was there any parampara? Tell me. When it was freshly made, everything just exploded and the nature came in, everything came in. However, you want to put that theory. Let's assume all the people came together, whatever it is. But that time there was nothing. When did all the parampara start happening? When did the religion start happening? When did all the philosophy start happening? As mind developed, people developed, they got together, they planned, they reformed, they brought something into existence. And then they said, this is our religion, let us put this. We are followers of certain this. And some even said, we are followers of this Sanatan, eternal Dharma. And who's this we? We are followers. That we they named as one religion, and this, because they practiced it, they said this is our religion, we belong to it and it belongs to us. Gadbad. The separatedness of Sanatan began happening there. What is Sanatan? You go rewind back before even this idea coming. What was it? The way it is. No thought, no form, nothing, no ideology, nothing, no claim, no doer, nothing. That is Sanatan. So Sanatan means actually going to that state of actual originality where we came from. So if you tap into that, because my tapping into those records very clearly shows that this all are coming from there and we are still holding on to these branches and claiming supremacy. Especially if you have a tattva here and from here all the branches are handling, and I say my parampara is this, my Guru Shishya Parampara. I'm very proud of it. Proud gaya, that spiritual ego. Aya udhar. Gone. If you're not aware, you'll not catch this. When you take pride in your religion, mukti ka marg nahi hai. It is still hovering somewhere in religion and spirituality, somewhere there. Still not on the path of liberation. Those claims has to go. I belong to this place. I belong to this. I'm proud to belong to such a such tradition, such a such culture, such a such religion. That belongingness also has to go. Still attached to something, holding on to something, holding on to some identity. It's a catch. It's a catch. So when you understand there is nothing to claim, nothing to claim, even that identity. You look at Avdutas. I always give this example. Did he ever say, I'm a Hindu? I'm a Muslim, I'm a Christian, I'm a whatever he is. Whatever. Any Avdut said this? Show me then. Show me in Avadut Gita where if Bhagwan Dattatreya said, I'm a Hindu, somewhere. Show me somewhere where Ashtavakra Gita represented him as a Hindu saint. They all talk about being a Sanatani. Sanatani is this originality before the formation of religion. That is another thing. You practice it and you identify it and you claim it. That's another thing. That's still on the lower rungs. It's still not the higher truths. So if somebody tells, I'm proud of my lineage, we should be proud of our lineage. So we talk and we hail glory, praise, and this is this, or we belong to this. And okay, fine, for our individual sadhana, that's good. But proclamation, it doesn't work. Somewhere out, if you have to proclaim, see, when I go to the mystics, and they usually ask, are you practicing something? I say yes. I just tell. If somebody asks, who's your guru? I will say, he's my guru. And I have his photo in the wallet also. I'll open and show, he's my guru. If somebody deeply asks, and I know why that if is, somebody is asking out of curiosity, I'll never talk a word even of my guru. because my guru and that tattva are not such cheap things that I just tell it to anybody, even in pride. No, this is my guru. I go on showing everywhere. I belong to this guru. Hey, do you know he is? He is nonsense. Not needed. So if somebody is asking, I will know first the intention of what it is. If he's a great soul, somebody, and just asking out of that, I will tell. Otherwise, I don't never mention. What is there to mention? You are proving, you are claiming what supremacy or something. What are you doing there? We think it is all we are doing a great. No, it's identity. Everything is identity. And somebody who tells you this will say, no, he is not sincere. Okay, okay. In your definition, that's fine. I don't want to be sincere. Not even that label is needed. Keep it to yourself. Keep that sincerity to you, and whatever XYZ yogi you want to put and proclaim yourself, do that. Go and claim. Stand on the mountaintop and shout that I am this yogi, I am that yogi. Do it if that gives you glory, that gives you happiness. I will never do that. Without doing that, I can be that XYZ yogi. That's the tattva. It's the same thing that I'm telling. If I am telling I'm XYZ yogi, it's as good as saying I'm a Hindu. Taking pride in telling I'm a Hindu, pride in telling I'm a Christian, pride in telling I'm a Muslim. The pride, that Kattarpanthi is there, that diversity is there, duality is there, separatedness is there, that me and mine is there. We don't see this. That me and mine only makes us tell my superiority. I belong to this. Hey, you should take pride in it. You take pride, continue. If pride is your motto and your inspiration, go with that pride. But I know pride comes from where and how it prevents you from where you're going to where you're going. So nobody can fool me with those things. When I say nobody can fool me, I am talking in general. Nobody can fool an awakened person that we should do this. This is my parampara. And what is that parampara that we talk about? Where does this parampara start? Where does the lineage start that we are so proud of? My lineage. You trace back all the lineage on the top. Who's on the top? Dattatreya. Any lineage you climb, it will be Dattatreya. Why? He is the father of all the gurus, father of all the avdutas. It began, the guruship, the avduta states began from there, separating. Now, why did it separate into so many different flavors? Because we are all flavored people. We have hundreds of flavors. Are we all alike? No. Your vasana is different, mine is different. Your tastes are different, mine is different. Your passion is different, mine is different. Your desires are different, my desires are different. Your attitude is different, mine is different. Your nature is different, mine is different. Your karmas are different, my karmas are different. So one thing will not suit everybody. So from there, the separation, flavor, whatever flavors you can adapt to, catch that. The idea of Avduta Chintan, Sri Gurudev Datta, the Tatta comes after Shiva. The Tattva itself, the Supreme Tattva's main intention is to unite everybody, not to prove any legacy there. It is not for all that nonsense at that level. That level, it is only separating and delivering what it has to. So whoever catches on to whichever flavor they want, all are welcome here. Bhagavan Dattatreya has no problem. You catch this lineage, he is not impressed. You boast however, because he knows he is on the top there. It is coming through him only. Whom are you going to boast there? So apart from Bhagavan Datta, you can boast to anybody around. This is my, all will agree or disagree, all the fight things will happen. This person you cannot convince. It's the father. Because you lead back to him only. And if you're leading back to him, it's the same energy, same consciousness. For a purpose, it has split itself in so many different ways because Maya is different. Maya has to be addressed, Maya has to be dissolved in different ways. And these are all the different ways the same Shakti is working to dissolve it. It is all dissolving the egos in different forms. So that is when the evolution begins happening. And everybody is climbing on their ladders in the lineage, taking the help of the strings. It's just like, what do you call it? If I have this thing, this is the top. If I pull it down, you can see there are steps here. Everywhere there are steps. coming out of it. Same stuff it is. Now you might wonder what is this. This is actually a scratcher. पीठ खुजाने के लिए देखो. It has become a prop today. So this is a good example also. Bhagwan Datta is here, or Shiva Tattva is here, whatever you call it. Shiva and Datta are not different. It's only for your clarification it comes. When Bhagwan Datta has got three heads, they are all symbolism, okay? There's actually not a person standing there with three heads. They're all symbolism. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. The creation begins from there. So the tattvas begin from here, and you can see as you elongate it, it keeps on unfolding from within. Every step is a guru. But you can see the whole support stands. Even if this guru is doing something here and the end, this is the grace of this, the energy and consciousness. So whatever you do back, when the process of healing begins, and you can see it comes here, and here it has got five again. Five, I think. Yeah. This is a good example. Under one path also there can be so many separations. Under one religion also there can be so many separations. Like in Islam, you have so many sects, even in one religion. In Christianity, we have so many Roman Catholic, Protestants, Syrian Christians, so many things. In Hinduism, pucho mat, there is so many diversions. So you can see it comes and it keeps on, and if you inside this also you go, you will have more branches each. So what is this? The more you go down, more diversity, more stulta, more grossness. The journey is to reduce this, reduce this, reduce this, and pull it back. The whole thing. What happens when you come to the final stuff? You have come to this only one. Only one. It all merges into this one. Thank you, Prop. In case anybody wants to scratch their back, this is available on Amazon. Do you want me to put a link of this? I'm just kidding. So if somebody tells me these things, I can't. And if they are in the ignorance of boasting and keeping on in the me and mine and glorifying it and praising it and doing it, do it. But from here I can see things. I don't agree. I will not conform to it. So you might call me what you call the black sheep, and you might outcast me. Fine, no problem. I think I must start. I somehow feel I must start this Chitakasha Gita, because if you go to read it, it's little difficult, and sometimes even I get stuck. It takes me some time to go through it, and then I understand. Okay, okay, this is the thing, because it's come from an Avduta. Anything that you take is so beautiful. Anything that you take. Wow. If you have any questions, please put it down. I can see some comments. I'll just go through it. I think I disappointed you, Dipti Madgut. I'm sorry for that, but I think I was in that flow, and this thing came where you asked about Akashic records and all that. So because anyways, Akashic records is something you can call a subtle record of your whole event. I don't know, you must have ran away after this guy is so arrogantly rude to me. He said, you must have gone off. I don't know if you're still there, Dipti. Akashic records are something that is your own record. It's like a file that has all your data right from the time you left home, from that one tattva. From the time you left there and you kept on decreasing and coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down, and you get every record is stored. That is your Akashic record. So Akashic record is more collective. It's not on one. So like I have this one file, this is my story. Then you have Akashic record of somebody else. Let's say Maggie. So this is mine Akashic record, this is Maggie's Akashic record. So when I'm doing sadhana, I can go to very extreme point and access my own files and work on it, whatever the need be. Maggie can do her own work in here, in her book. We are doing separately. But when all the books merge together, that is actually known as Akashic records, the whole collective bunch of files. Because if this is my destiny, this determines my destiny, and this determines Maggie's destiny. When we club it together, we can say this both determines our destiny. So if I club all the files together, this is the destiny of the planet or the whole consciousness, the whole path from where the light it descended and we came in till here, till the now. The whole thing is recorded in the Akash records. So many people do a lot of things to go and actually tap in there and get in your archive. See, that is basically what they say. You go and find out your past, present, future, because it's all stored in there. It's very beautifully there. All this past, present, future. So if somebody goes into something like past life regressions and you go deeper into it and you explore and then you get to know I was a soldier in one and you see those things and all this, it is you have tapped one page somewhere on your Akashic records. So those who are doing work on themselves have access to their own Akashic records. The greater beings like rishis and all, they have access to the whole Akashic records. So they look into it and they can work on it. How they work on it and all that, it's a little deeper. I don't want to get into all that. We will distract ourselves from that. So Dipti, I don't know, I have answered it, but it's okay if you have left, because that shows our seriousness. Because if you are there, if you really want it, I told you, curiosity means I wanted. Oh, what is this? Ah, I just want. Can you answer? Oh no, I can go somewhere. It goes that way. Amrita Pise. Why pressure between third eye happen? Pressure can happen not only in your third eye, it can happen even in your Mooladhara. Depends on how aware you are. Anyways, more than Mooladhara, the pressure is more sensitive in your, again, the higher chakras you go, they are more sensitive. The lower you go, they are not so sensitive. So you might not feel the pressure somewhere else. Some people feel pressure there also, other chakras. So this is the more sukshma. So the higher you come here, and this is the whole activity is happening here. The whole activity is here. The whole journey is to reach here. If you see, whole journey is here. The aim is to reach here. So the whole activity, I said, the Guru Tattva, when you are active in your Guru Tattva, you can feel the sensation here. When you're, the whole place of your intuition is here. The sixth eye, what we call, when your five senses close, the sixth sense opens. That's the intuition. So a lot of activities keep on happening in this center, because whatever other centers you are working on, it is all correlated to this chakra only. This is the final chakra that's trying to activate, enlighten, awaken, or self-realize, and all those things. From here towards mukti. So that is why this pressure and all is felt. Now, if you ask me, is it good or bad? It is neither good, neither bad. When I'm telling the path of neutrality, then this shouldn't matter to you. Whether anything is happening there, and Trishta Bhav, everything, wherever the pressure happens. Okay, some questions here I have not read. Great easy example, says Maggie. Okay, good. Good that it helps you, Maggie. Vishav Lumba, you are so direct, but at the same time very simple. Love it. Direct is very difficult. Today I was telling there, they were like, "Oh my God, what is this guy talking to?" That is why we speak only where direct language, where it can be understood. If you talk it to people who don't understand, then you will have a lot of problems because people don't realize what these things are. The most direct people were Avdutas, and I'm following their path very strictly. The mystics, not that I'm them, but yes, that inspiration comes from there. The authenticity that Nityananda had in delivering, saying, or even giving example, boldness. Of course, we don't have that kind of boldness because when you are not at that state and you try to do something, you will be crucified and persecuted. I already have troubles, enough troubles for speaking only this much. So if I go beyond that, I don't know what. So I was talking to them about in the house today there about going beyond duality. What extent of directness the Avdutas showed to break yours and mine rigidity on that duality. How strong that custom, that belief, that conditioning about duality. Like for example, Murti Puja, we can't give it because somebody was sitting there and arguing, no, we are doing this and all, but Islam is actually what they do. Why did they do all that? They don't like Murti Puja, this, that. They are against this. I said that is there in Christianity also. On one side, they worship the idols and the crucifix and all that, but there is one sect in Christianity that doesn't believe in it only. They don't like, they are against all kind of idol worship. That is there even in the Hindus. There were so many saints who fought against idol worship. Which is true, theirs? The higher one is always true. This is duality. When you go beyond images, then you are in that state of non-duality. Non-duality, Advaita is the highest. Oneness is the highest. Even Chidakasha Gita says oneness is the highest truth. So if you are reaching there in whichever way you want, you can reach, but that's the ultimate truth. You have to realize that. So for that, all these great masters did so many things. Vedas, the original truth, downloaded by the rishis, the actual secrets of the universe and man, but people could not relate to it. Vedas is huge. So as the yugas were passing, people were not understanding. Then some set of rishis came and they said, okay, Vedas is too wide. Let us condense it. So they began condensing it. And that condensing is called as Upanishads. So all the Upanishads started demonstrating little more easier way to understand the higher truths, very easy way, simple way. But again, with the passing of time, that also became difficult. Now people were not having contact with those things and not understanding it, misunderstanding it. Then came the Puranas because the rishis said these people are not getting the idea of the whole matter, the tattva. So let us tell them stories, storytelling. So if we go on storytelling, one second. So if you tell like you, it's like rocking a child to sleep. You want to put a moral idea into a child, but a child is so fussy. It doesn't sit with your pravachans. It doesn't like all your preachings. Whatever teachings, God said this, God said that. You are supposed to behave like this. You are supposed. I said, go to hell. I don't care about that. Let me sleep. But I'm not getting sleep. So the mother or the father says, don't worry. I'll tell you a story. Oh, okay. The child says, okay, okay, tell me a story. Once upon a time, there was a king, and then there was a queen, and then there was an army, and then there was a this and that, and that, and that. And then there was a sage came this way, and that happened. All the tales goes on, and then all the in the end, the divinity wins and all that. And then they say the story ends here. So the moral of the story is, they tell the child, what is the moral of the story? This is the moral. And the child listens. Ah, okay, this story. Yeah. So this is how we have to be. Yeah, the parentals. So this is how we have to live life. Now, what has happened? Storytelling, they made it very easy for the child. This is Puranas. What? The Upanishads and Vedas only they are talking about. They put it out into stories and put it very clear. And stories are not just stories. I'm telling you, they are the tattvas. Every single thing is so deeply connected. You can't microscopic. You go into Mahabharata, all the characters in that. Every character has something to do with your life. Everything. So if you can connect the dots properly, you are unwinding your own secret. That's how great the Mahabharata is. And they had that precision of storytelling. Now there is an argument whether it was real or that. We are not getting into that. For me, whether it happened or did not happen, if it is a story or whatever story, my tattva, the reason, the real essence of why it was given to us, that is important. You catch the essence and why do you want the rest? आम खाने से मतलब है, पेड़ खाने से थोड़ी है, पेड़ गिनने से थोड़ी है. So you get into that. That's when you understand, and that's what I'm trying to tell here, share here. These are all the secrets that in my sadhana time or in my period of time, realizations happened spontaneously. Sometimes this I realize, sometimes that I realize, and it's like wow, oh wow, and I'm able to connect to it. I've not read this anywhere. I'm telling you, not read it. It's coming from my own awareness. So when the Puranas were told to the people, this is how you relate to the Vedas and all that, and then you get connected. You understand. Oh, so this is the moral. So this is the essence of that, and you catch the story. But then what happened? By the time the level of consciousness had come down, and then people caught the characters of the story. They become so involved in the characters of the story that they forgot the essence of the storyline. Then they caught the figures in the story. They began worshipping that story. They made idols of it, images of it, and then glorified it, praised it. And over the time, it went on, went on, went on. So strong. Another yuga came into that movement. That is precisely when the Bhakti Yuga movement, Bhakti movement and all began. So idolization happened. Then more linked with that, of course, there was a Parabhakti. Great saints like Tukaram and Sant Tukaram and Sant Gyaneshwar Maharaj and all that used to sing glories. Mirabai and Nityananda, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda sing, and they was in that para. But as it deteriorated again and again, that tattva, Parabhakti began Aparabhakti. The Abhed Bhakti began Bhed Bhakti. Two duality become stronger, stronger. And slowly what happened? The whole idea went into the idolization. They began getting stuck with the idolization, the worshipping the idol. Pura focus was only on that. They forgot the essence, the connection, the oneness started missing out. That became a different yuga itself. A different mass movement moved into idolization. That is why many awakened souls at that time awakened and said, no, this is not the purpose. These were the people who were against idol worship. They had nothing else agenda. The agenda was nirakar kyun nahi? Why are you forgetting the one, the non-dual one? Nirakar, nirguna nirakar Shiva. Why are we forgetting? Why are you getting more and more into this idolization? Then there were again different kind of wars in that. There were big debates, big groups and clashing and all those things. So the Bhakti movement was challenging that time. Though it had its own, this Bhakti is needed, but that is why in Brahma Kumari they explain that no Bhakti ka yug gaya, Bhakti ka kal gaya, ab Gyan ka वक्त आ गया, ज्ञान मार्ग खुल गया अभी. That is the different phases. The Bhakti Marga is gone, movement is gone. Now the whole thing is about wisdom, and you can see wisdom is everywhere around. There are many Gyanis like me preaching, भाषण दे रहे, प्रवचन दे रहे and all that. So many are there. So सब लोग अपना अपना ज्ञान बांट रहे हैं. मैं भी बांट रहा हूँ. लगा लो टाइटल, नो प्रॉब्लम, बांटूंगा लेकिन. People have this habit of trying to put guilt in your mind. सब कुछ तो करके, so that you deviate from that. नहीं होगा. Because awareness will catch that also. That nonsense also it will catch. So you laugh on it. So this is Gyan Batne ka time. So everybody is Gyan Batao. And when that Bhakti movement was very strongly not happening, the same Shiva Tattva made another plan. This is a play of the Supreme only. All this Maya is the play of the consciousness. So in that play, another play, this got introduced. They said, ये लोग ऐसे मानने वाले नहीं, कितना भी इसको समझाओ नहीं मानने वाले हैं. थोड़ा रिजिड तरीके से इसको समझाते हैं कि इट इज नॉट इन द आइडल्स, इट इज नॉट इन दैट. That time came the movement of avdutas, siddhas, all the main, the raw crude people. Why did this whole topic came? Because somebody said that I am you are so direct but at the same time simple. I'm trying to say this. These avdutas, siddhas and all were direct people. They came to directly because it is very simple. They were trying to simplify. It's not so complicated. Very, very simple. And these were those avdutas that did so many leelas you couldn't understand. And man is confused. What the hell is this? What kind of spirituality is this? What am I seeing? There, Bhagwan Nityananda. One day, somebody opens the Bhimeshwara temple and he's standing there with his leg on the Bhimeshwar Linga, Shivalinga. Shock of life. Keeping your foot on the Shivalinga. See what all they had to do to break your duality. To show that he is not, it's the same tattva. There's no big difference in you glorifying it so much, and the Shiva is within you. You're still here. And that they demonstrated with that. I am not sure. Somebody told me the other day while I was talking this subject, somebody in Maharashtra, they said even Swami Samartha did that. I said, what? He said he urinated on the one of the idol or image. Shocking. Today when I was talking this to the family, they said, oh my God, thoba, thoba. That thing, that fear, that thing which is there, and to open burst that, the avdutas and all the siddhas came. That was another different movement to break this duality that people had got entrusted with, because they got stuck in the stories, the characters, but they were losing the essence. So they simplified it. Very simple. I remember even Mukupudi Swami in Tirunamalai. He was in Sheshadri Swamigal ashram moving around, and there is a temple there with idols. He used to take the broom and go and bang the temples, hit with the stick. You can still find it on YouTube. Mukupudi Swami, you do. You'll see his leelas. With a stick, he'll go and he'll be giving bad words and thrashing the idols. Can anybody understand this? So, what is this? What are they trying to do? They're trying to teach these things only. Go behind this. Go beyond this. Go back to the trace. And what is the truth? It's within. Everything is within. Nirgun Nirakar. It's within. And Ramana had said it in very simple words. Anything you tell him, he is not bothered. He is not impressed. However great you are a Mahasiddha also, he is not impressed. So what is your Siddhatva going to do with self-realization? Upadesha Saram proves it. Even if you're a Maharishi who has got multiple powers, all the Siddhis, what is the use if you can't liberate? There is still stuckness there. Somebody told him, I see Krishna, not impressed. Oh, not that way. I see him, he's physically with me, not impressed. He says that is temporary. Catch that which is permanent. Who has the audacity to say this? These are all that movement. The saints that came in straight to the point, straight to the very simple truths, direct. नो घुमा फिरा के बात, घुमा फिरा के बात करने का नतीजा है ये सब. You sit, you glorify, you fall in love with it, then you praise it, then you expand it, then you are gone into it, then you give the mahima, then you give the greatness of it, and then where am I in the picture now in all this process? Great, all great. Where am I? That is why I never agreed to, when people try to convince me about Durga Shapsati, I was not convinced. Because if that is still making you a bhakta, okay, I understand if the whole world is, but my guru was a non-dual and he spoke very clearly what is the tattva of Durga Shapsati. He spoke who is Ma Shakti. He never said go on making an idol and do it. He said realize that consciousness, Ma Durga, is within me. And all these vikaras are mine. All these asuras are within me, not outside. So I have, with my raising of consciousness and with reading this part in that bhava, that I am doing work on myself. The sadhana is on myself, and then with that bhava, if I read, there is a different result. Then you reading that the asura is outside, the demons are outside, the Maya is outside. So the problems in the world, and when there is so much problem in the world, now from this side you are invoking a god, and the gods and the demons are fighting, and you are looking at both of them, and then the god wins, and then you are so happy and you are praising that god. Where are you? What has happened to you? You've seen a story and you praise somebody. What difference has that made to you? Are you getting the whole point? So there I could not agree. If it is still making you in that phase of that Puranic phase, if it is still apara bhakti, it is still not reached. I mean, I don't say it's wrong. I'm saying it is still incomplete. Bhed bhakti, bhed hai baby. Ma is outside, asura is outside. Bhed bhakti hai. It's not still not complete. I wanted more on abhed bhakti, para bhakti, where everything is within me. Because so many examples, Mirabai, Chaitanand Mahaprabhu, Tukaram Sant, Gyaneshwar Sant, Mirabai, they all had established these truths in them. They were one with the truth. So at that stage, when if somebody can say it is an Advait sadhana, okay. I'm not again fighting against Dvait and Advait, but Dvait it still leaves you incomplete, I'm telling you. It might give you the fruits, but still what is the final? And that's what I said. Everything depends on tum chahte kya ho. If your intent is worldly goals, पैसा मिले, धन मिले, प्राप्ति मिले, पुत्र मिले, बीवी मिले, पति मिले, ये मिले, सुख, घर का सुख मिले, प्रॉपर्टी मिले, नाम ऐश्वर्य मिले, and then I'm reading the Durga Shapsati, understood. Okay, not wrong. But that's not this platform, what I'm talking here. That's not that. That is another platform. There is that field also is there. Where for prapti you do all this. So these are sadhanas based for your selfish needs. I need a desire. I have a kamana. So fulfill karne ke liye I do a certain kind of sadhana. So that my needs are met. Okay. But that is still not on the higher end. It is still on the grosser. It's not that it's wrong. I'm not saying, again I'm repeating, it's not wrong, it's not bad. It is incomplete. For a person who is involved in samsara, it is complete because their world ends there. संसारा संसार मिल गया उनको और उसमें डूबे रहे मस्त. ये मेरा गोल है. Yes, that is complete for them. For people of liberation who is moving beyond it, it is incomplete yet. Can you see the difference? So both are correct on their end. Both are correct. I'm not saying anybody is wrong. I'm just making you aware of these two segments which are there in the same. Aryan Goyal. Bhaiya, when will be the Chidakash demystified available on your site? It is available, but I had to make some corrections on that because I noticed it. So I locked it after that, and it's a huge, vast text. If you sit with it, you need hours of contemplation on that. That is one reason I couldn't put it still into book, because it's a huge number of time and effort that is put in on that. So yes, because somebody had reminded me the other day, I've started work on that. I've opened up things and things are going on. So I'm hoping this time I get it soon and correct it and open it at the same time. But more than the website, I wanted to bring it out in the book. And when I told somebody about this idea of bringing it, that person was very happy, and he took on the whole responsibility of sponsoring it also, sponsoring it for the book version. So yes, so I think that's the divine will, because if things are happening in that way, I have no much problem. So there is a sponsor for that yet. I'm hoping to bring that. But at the same time, I would like to make videos also on that, each verses. Somewhere that can align us much more better on that. I have had little kind of friction, slight frictions when they saw my posts on Chidakasha Gita, coming upon shifting into awareness 1 year back. And they are little more elevated souls who had this a little uneasiness. You can say even at the saint levels. They had little uneasiness that, and they used to taunt me or be sarcastic about it, and tell this is not how it is, and you cannot do that, you cannot do this, and explaining the same tattva in different meaning. But somehow I couldn't agree that Nityananda is talking on this. So then I was little skeptical, because this is all ideas. Everybody's consciousness is ideas. Whenever somebody interprets a great book, they write commentaries on it. So if you see, there are commentaries written on these also. But I don't necessarily go into the commentaries. I read only the direct words that is coming from Nityananda. And I also believe, my awareness somewhere shows me that these are exactly not the words of Nityananda. I don't know. This is the first time first time I told this long back. When I read it, I don't feel it is Nityananda's words. Any Chidakasha Gita you give me, I don't think it's. There has been some grammatical corrections to it. There has been something, not with bad intention, to put it very constructive. Because I know Nityananda did not speak this way. So in clarity, he talked in bits and pieces. So somewhere I believe the connections have been done, and there I don't know the authenticity of it. So this is the mighty challenge. Whatever is in our hand, we do not know if it is on the purest level. But if somebody tells me that you are not misinterpreting in that way, then a lot of misinterpretation might have happened in that ways also, the purest. Anyways, I believe if it has to happen, it should happen in that way. Sanatan, nothingness, the original way, the no way. Yeah, Maggie, that's the right way. The no way is the original way. That is Sanatan, nothingness. Original nature is beyond thought or religion. Yes, just the way with no ideology, no way. Act of the originality of source. Yes, you can see how much you are stressing to bring to that point, and that's what I have tried to stress here. What is Sanatan? Rekha ji, please put the link of Chidakasha Gita that you explained. Yeah, we're talking about that only. Anita Goel, such a beautiful explanation with such clarity. Thanks. Okay. Rekha, is it true that tap past record? What does that mean? Is it true that tap? I didn't understand that. Maggie, does samsara means staying in the cycle of birth and yes, 100 and whatever, raised to whatever you want. 1000% if it exists, yes. Million% if infinite% if it exists, yes. Samsara means staying in the cycle of birth and rebirth. Samsara is itself this illusion. Illusion, if you are coming back to illusion itself, means you have a birth. So any connection with the illusion, any fascination with the illusion, any kind of even thin lines with the illusion, that is samsara, will bring us back into samsara. That's the sukshma, subtle reality, which is taken for granted when it is explained. In spirituality, these things are not taken care of. You'll just explain, okay, moksha, you get liberated from. How? Somebody came and asked me the other day, Bhaiya, tell me, what is this something? This Bhaiya tells this way, this Bhaiya is telling this way. What does this mean? This Bhaiya told us that, there is something called Shivatva that is there. And there is something called moksha, which will happen when the shunya happens and we merge with the shunya. So moksha I came to know. I thought in my mind, she has not yet known anything, but assumed. It is a belief. It is still not, there is no clarity yet. So, what is this atva or tattvas? It says, you don't only get moksha, but you will also get this tattva, whatever that was, XYZ. So I said, first go and ask the bhaiya from where you heard. But also at the same time ask, what is shunya? What happens when you go into shunya? And how do you merge into shunya? Because you said, you know that is moksha. So kindly explain to me, when does this happen? How does it happen? And what is these definitions of shunya? What is this nothingness? If you can explain, then we can contemplate, because what you're talking to me is out of some belief. Somebody said something, I believe in that. And that way, all the religions are on belief. I believe in God. Even Christianity talks about that. I discarded it many years back. I said, I don't believe in God because you told me. I want to know God. Until I experience that God, I won't believe in God. So, this is one experiential thing. We must ask for experience. Let me know how. Details until your being is satisfied with that. Questions must be asked again and again to whoever the preacher is. And the preacher must have the essence to explain everything tidbits to the depth, and even if possible give an experience of it. That's what I said. That little girl who came in Pune at 10 o'clock with her father, she wanted deep questions. 2.5 hours till 12:30 at night, we are talking these things. And she's telling, I can't. I said, Baba, you're not what you're thinking. You are not this body. That I know philosophy. I've heard it. I'm not this body. I'm not this soul. But you tell me how, because I'm relating this skin that I touch. This is me. Somebody calls my name. I know it is they are calling this me, and I am this body. Now, how can you tell this? So you have to explain it according to what they can understand, and experientially bring them to that level of consciousness, at least in awareness, where they can see the split, realize it, and be convinced. That took hours to do that. So these are all concepts. Somebody is bold enough to tell a small girl. Now, if I have told it to an adult, I'm telling you, if an adult, let's say somebody who trusts me and somebody who respects me, say, you respect me, whatever I say. So somebody sitting in front and they ask what it is. And I say, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the feeling, you are not the emotion. They'll say, yes, yes, you're right, you're right. Why? Because you trust me, you respect me. You will not cross question me. You'll say, how? But how? You'll not dare do that because you don't want to offend anybody. The one you respect or you adore or you love or whatever. But there is some practical beings, they want practicality. They're not challenging anything. One there is another sect where the challenge is there. I don't agree with that nonsense. How? You prove this first to me. You prove this and show. If somebody talks this language, I will say, no, you are right. It doesn't exist. There is no self. You are this. Go in peace. Amen. That's a different, but one, there is a very straight and clear, their awareness, they are becoming more aware. They want to know what is this. They're not settling with preachings and teachings. Somebody said something. I have never settled with anybody's teachings. I've always gone deep into it and contemplated and tried to find out. Until I get the answer, I'm not convinced, I will pester the person who gave me that gyan. Not pestering out of irritation or arrogance or putting that person or challenging, and no, that's a different thing. But I want to know the truth. And if I have that genuinity and humbleness to know that truth, that with real intention, that answer will come to me through that person, through someone, some or the other way. That's the whole thing. Okay, Rekha ji, you meant tapping records. So what was that question? Is it true that tapping past record? I still don't get it. You might be asking, is it true that you can tap your past records? I said, yeah, it's your file. If you want, you can go and now. Don't ask me how and all that. This is spiritual entertainment. I'm warning you. All these kind of nonsense will not help. I call that a nonsense because it is a pile of rubbish. It is not going to redeem you. It is going to explore. It will give you some spiritual entertainment. That's all. So don't go too much into that. And if you want, I'm not the guy. I know it, but I don't want to get into all that. You'll get lost in something else. Thank you, Ji. Maggie, most of the holy books have been knowingly or unknowingly tampered with, depending on the consciousness of the people rewriting. Yeah, that is one point where I just withhold this, because even if I represent this, I write a commentary on this, still it will not be on the most purest and accurate expression of Nityananda. Not just me, any author can reach that. The original writer, nobody can reach. I even am telling you, I still have the strong feeling, even if the Vedas are decoded, there is still something missing. There are high possibilities. Because that is God Tattva, and nobody can replace that kind of a Tattva. We can be close to godliness, we cannot be gods exactly. When we say we are gods, it doesn't mean that. We are only saying we are godly. Because if we are in that Tattva, it's very difficult to get things down in that manner. So anything that is separated from the higher tattva, even a Maharshi, is still dual. And why it has come down one step? Because the ego has come, the duality has come. Only then you can separate. Otherwise, you cannot separate. Only when the identity. So anything that has an identity is not in the purest form. This is what my awareness tells me. There can be even tampering, and definitely the Vedas have been, when it got translated, some little thing happened, and when the Upanishad got into Puranas, forget it. One Mahatma told me once, you want to read Vedas, read till Upanishads, and then period, go no further. From there it is all different interpretations. If you don't believe me, you check how many Puranas. I don't have records, but if you Google, you will come to know. When actual Puranas came, there were only few. I think 10 Puranas or something. Today, see how many Puranas are there. Some Puranas have been introduced later in the centuries. Where did that come from? And there are all kind of Puranas. All kind of Puranas. You name it and you will have it. And like, I can see one book right from here, Kurma Purana. Here in my book list, I can see Kurma Purana. Have you ever heard of it? You name it and you will have a Purana. So that Mahatma told me, go no further beyond the Upanishads. If you are seeking the highest truth, go no further. You will get more entangled into that. Now, here we are not saying it is right or wrong, nothing. It doesn't serve the purpose of the higher truths. No, but I thought it's all lie and I'm not interested in that. Yeah, it's not a lie, it's all a truth. And there is no lie in this universe. Everything exists. Whatever you can even think of exists. Know this, that thought only is coming to you because it exists. If it was not existing and you are not connected, no thought would have come. Anything you name, anything, does this, it exists in some sphere of life. All these things, even if you say somebody makes up something and do it, it still exists. Even if somebody makes it up, it still exists. You know, not Purnamama, Maggie. Purana. Purana are the stories. Like if you go into Buddhism, there is Aesop fables, so many stories. All that leads to morality. So they have to put it back into Actually, it is Buddha's past lives only. All the of fables are nothing but his past life. Every life he had one incident. So he talks about that, but it gives a lot of deep messages, stories. So they are basically stories to explain the Upanishads and Vedas in deeper fashions. And what does the concept of liberation tells? Drop all stories, and that includes this also. That is why that Mahatma told me, don't go no further beyond Upanishads. So this is for serious seekers. Huh? For others, it's all okay. Everything is okay. But you give me a Purana in hand, again, I will start decoding it. Ramayana is a Purana only. The Bhagavatam, coming from the Purana. But Bhagavatam, Bhagwad Gita, it's coming from the Puranas. Please know it. But if you decode it, it's going back to the Upanishads and Vedas, the message. And that is what I'm decoding and telling in the start. If you have missed it, just rewind and see this video. We talked extensively about what the Bhagavad Gita is talking about. So it's going back to that essence. We are talking the Vedic language there, even in through the Puranas. So if you have an insight to dig into that, then go and read that Puranas. Otherwise, don't go to do it. Garuda Purana. It's so complicated. You read Garuda Purana, you will get all hodgepodge mixed up. You'll not understand it. Once I was sitting with my guru. I had a small book of Garuda Purana. I was curious to just investigate into it. So I kept it on the table and I excitedly said, Bhavaji, look at this. He was in a serious phase only, very neutral. Suddenly he looked at the book and a smile came on his face. And then he looked at me mischievously. And he took off his attention from there. I got the whole message. I don't want to speak further also because after that he told me certain things also, but let's not go further because I'm live here. Yeah, 18 Puranas. I believe it's gone more than 18 Puranas also. I believe. So we might just check it out and see. And in the start, it was not directly 18 Puranas. It was lesser. Many Puranas who got added. So all these things do exist, Rekhaji. They do exist on one level. Anything. Now, if I tell you something very mystical, you'll be again surprised. Anything that can be created. Most absurd thing also you think about it constantly. If it is does not exist in this universe also, and you start thinking, you can create it. That's how fabulous this whole creation concept is. And that's how the whole creation keeps happening. So many things in the creation keeps getting created. You must have heard of Maharishis who created their own universe and are living in it. They're still there. Dimensions were created. From where? It all begins from the mind. Mind, manas. Manas Putra. Son begetted from the mind. Born out of the mind. Manas Putra. That also happens. Means you can give life to a form through your mind. Not everybody can do that. Somebody who's reached that level, they can do it. Imagine they creating universes. How powerful that is. Another one thing. All the Devis and Devatas that you worship, so many forms of Shakti is there. So many forms are there. So many names. They have Vigrahas, and you go to any new geographical location, you will find a new kind of Vigraha and it is named, this form is named as this. Now, can you tell me how these come into existence? They did not exist once. Can anyone tell me on this? Have you ever pondered? So many, infinite number of forms. And anywhere and everywhere there is worship also done to that. Very seriously. Good worship done to that. Can you imagine from where it is come? They are all the creation of some or the other yogis or tapasvis or rishis. Once upon a time, they created that form for some reason, whatever purpose, in their deeper sadhanas, whatever. Through this same concept of Manasputra, it got created. But then, when the yogis did a lot of tapas with that form, whatever form it helped in them, in whatever way it helped, they all created it for the assistance of their evolution or whatever they wanted. They created. Once they finished the purpose, they left. The form, the energy remained, the consciousness remained, that form remained. So you will find infinite number of forms. There are, you can't fathom that kind of forms are there everywhere around. Whichever you attune to, you are connecting to that. That's the whole thing. That is why it is not very favorable when we say anything apart from that self you get into, because this is all happening on dual planes. Everything is happening on dual planes. It is still not in the oneness. In oneness, there is no separate. There is no separate plane. There is no direction. There is no another universe. There is no another form. There is no other deity. It's all one, just oneness. So Ramana always pointed, go to that source. That's it. Don't be entertained, or don't let your mind to get entertained into anything. You will get lost in it. And what is that? If somebody has created a universe, it's their tendency. They want to experience that, and they're experiencing it. But that's not mukti. So if somebody enjoys it, fine. There is all free will to create and be in it and part. And that's the whole play about. Only thing is somebody has achieved that mastery over life. So they now can do anything want. But it's still in the doing. Any other questions? It's 12. So tomorrow, I'm ending this series of this. Know thyself is not yet over completely, but I will complete it later. I think next week. That's because tomorrow I have this program, the satsang 2 hours, 7 to 9 o'clock. And yes, if anybody has not yet received the updates and all that you need to do is I've put these posts of that link of events. So if you just go to shiftingintoawareness.com and see the events, there is that updates of event there. Or you can follow my link on this, or I'll drop a link here also. That will help you uh, just sign up for that updates, because whenever you do that, what will happen is now you'll start getting updates on your WhatsApp and your email. So tomorrow, I don't have the link yet. They will send me the link. It's a Zoom link. So that Zoom link, I'll paste it and send it to all those people who have signed up for this, for these updates, whatever these updates. So it will only and only go to the emails who have signed up and the WhatsApp numbers who have signed up. I'm not interested to post it anywhere else. So I'm not publicizing it. So if you like, you can always, you're welcome to join. If you don't feel the need to, that is also fine. You feel only whenever live is coming, you come here and do, that is also fine. Whatever is your wish. So I'll just put that link here so that meanwhile, if you have anything to ask, you can please. Kanu bhai, by April 6 to 9 will be at Tirunamalai. Good G. Thumbs up. I won't be able to be there in April. April 6th. I don't know. It's too early to say also. God knows. आपकी शायद बुकिंग भी हो गई है. No problem. If we are destined to meet there, we will meet. अभी फिलहाल मैं उतना ही बोलूँगा. I'll just put this link in case you have not seen it or whatever. for all event updates. So I just put it here. Where did it go? It didn't appear here. Oh, there it's come. So you can just click that link, and it's a very small thing. You can just put some ticks and just add your email and your phone number. Email you don't need to add, it will automatically take. Only the phone number is needed. So this is for people who want to. Oh, Good Friday, you're there. Okay. Let's see. God willingly, if that is the time to meet, then we can definitely meet. We are eager to hear your bhajans. Yes, then you can definitely join us tomorrow. I don't know what bhajan I'm going to sing, but I thought I'll just make a medley of everything, all religion makes, and that is one, and the other whatever nice, which creates more awareness about our soul journey, which reminds us something like that. I was also, because somebody had told to do this regularly, I was there in that mood, but that didn't happen. So probably that will also happen. There's a lot of work now, actually. These days, a lot of work has come now. I'm trying to just cover up that. I was just looking into that one quote. I didn't note it down, but from Chidakasha Gita before ending. I'm sorry to keep you waiting here. Suddenly my eyes fell on something. A man may try 271 words. A man may try his utmost to gratify his senses. The only remedy is to harness the senses by meditating on the Atma and get mastery over it. Exactly what Ramana said. Somebody said, this is bothering, that is bothering. Move into self, abide in the self, remain in the self, be more and more there, be more and more there, continuously practice it. And he says, the other things will keep dissolving itself. Automatically, that karma, that samskara, whatever you call, keeps dissolving itself. But more of abiding in the self. Exactly, Chidakasha Gita is saying this, 271. Everywhere he's talking about this distinction, and that should end. All the distinction should end. All the differences should end. Even the most sukshma distinction. That distinction means separate. I am separate from something. Here, Vairagya, he's talking again. Vairagya should be like fire burning a cloth. When Vairagya is highly developed, we can realize the splendor of the Atma. Everywhere he's talking about Omkar, Omkar, ultimate truth, Omkar. Omkar is the sound of emanating from that one sound. Omkar. It's not, there's no Dvait in it. Any other sound is Dvait. Two. Omkar only is emanating from itself, produced by itself. All other sound needs two. Even if I do, it needs two to create any sound. But Omkar is self-emanating. So he's going beyond, everything is Omkar. Go and touch that space. By the way, a small calf was born in Rishi Gurukulam, and they told me you have to christen it, put a name to it. So we went there and we named this calf as Omkar. Okay, I'm still not able to find it, but I think that's fine. 2, 3 places it was there. I forgot to notice it. That's the reason. On that ultimate truth of oneness, you are stressing so much that until you have that. Okay, so this side, everybody, yeah, all clear here. What is that? Is there a 333 verse or a 3-3? There is no 333. Maggie, you are gone into all those things, no? 333 is not there. I think 271 something is the last. 286 is the last. Sorry. No lucky number for you. Okay, let me do a lucky draw for you. 33 number. What is 33? Oh my god. Maggie, are you serious? Are you serious? You know what's 33? Love you. 33 is on oneness. God bless you. My God. Can you see that miracle, everyone? Live miracle happening. The synchronicity that's come with. Oh my God. See, I've been searching the book and somebody says 3-3. And I say that, okay, let me take a lucky draw. It is a lucky draw. So 33, it says, when the world is destroyed, it ends in Vayu. That is transformed into blue air. Now, I don't want to get into it's too complicated, all these things. I don't want to get too much into it. It will expand the session. When the world is destroyed, it ends in Vayu, that is transformed into blue air by Raj Yoga. What we mentioned in today's whole session, Raj Yoga, see, he is telling here. By Raj Yoga, a man will realize the oneness. Raj Yoga is going within, meditativeness. It is dhyana. And to come into dhyana, we realized the 8 limbs that takes us there. So many things are involved to finally take us to dhyana and then into samadhi. There is where this oneness is realized. So he says, oneness means there is no duality as God is in everything. Only the physical variations are different. Simple. See, that's the beauty of. See, I'm looking around in all the pages around. See, I'm giving the verses, huh? So this is proof for you. So if you want, you can verify. If I'm not, I don't think I'm bluffing here. So I'm just looking at all the pages around it. There is no oneness mentioned anywhere here. And before that also. Before that is all about Guru Tattva. See, there is no oneness here. Pinpoint it was on 33. This is what happens when we are aligned in awareness with that tattva and the authentic expression that comes, and it's a courage. It's like, see, we would have felt a little embarrassed. We This lottery number, can we? But that confidence, that conviction which comes from that state of awareness is there. It is something 333 or 33. So the number game also is not uh, something that is superstitious. Huh? So if you see me putting 111 time 333, it all has a meaning. But I don't want to get too much because then we'll get caught up in all that. So I think this session was helpful for you. I think so. I thought I'll just come and say hi to you and go in half an hour. I told my mother, in fact, I said, today I'm just finishing the session very fast because I didn't read the book or anything. So I don't know. I can't continue with Know Thyself. That is why I did not even name this live as Know Thyself. That whatever comes, I'll just spontaneously pick. And I wanted to explain what happened in that house the whole day today. And there we come with the whole tattva Bhagwad Gita and in the centeredness. So we began with the whole thing, centeredness, coming to stillness, coming to that state of uh, what you call sthirtha, nischalta. Achieving that state is what all the things in the Bhagavad Gita is also explaining. And that is what these people also coincidentally talked about. So with this, I end this today's session with lots of divine love and light to all of you. Stay blessed. Gurudev Sharanam, Guru Mandala Sharanam. Avadhuta Chintan Shri Gurudev Datta. May we all evolve. May we all be free. Bye.